Okay, and now it's time for some late night boxing talks where we're going to roast Leonard Ellerbee. Leonard specifically, because Leonard was on one today. He took to his social media and he did his usual shtick, his usual thing about how Javante is gonna be the biggest draw in boxing. He's been saying that for approximately 4 years now. In my previous live, we focused on Javante Davis and Ryan Garcia and how they're trying to minimize the importance of alphabet titles and achieving that goal in pugilism. Now I want to focus on Leonard Ellerbee. Jack Nuff, what's good? I want to focus on Leonard Ellerbee as a promoter because I can't stress this enough. It's amazing to me how someone with so little to do comparatively to his other contemporaries, his other fellow promoters in the sport, Leonard doesn't have to accommodate as many fighters as, say, Frank Warren or Bob Arum or even Ben Shalom, who's a newbie to the sport. He's new blood. And Leonard doesn't have to accommodate as many fighters as those guys do, let alone Eddie Hearn, who's in many ways the biggest promoter in boxing because he's international. He's not limited to just trying to appeal to one market and do shows in just one market. He's doing shows in several different countries around the world, including this one. And they are, in fact, the biggest shows in boxing because nothing that the PBC is putting on this year is bigger than Canelo versus Golovkin 3. Nothing that the PBC is putting on anywhere on the planet is bigger than Joshua versus Usyk 2. Win or lose, the job of a promoter is to put on big shows that get big cash. That's the job. That's the assignment. And when you understand the assignment, that's where you can see the success that Matchroom has had at the helm of the very venerable, the honorable, the capable, the dashing Edward Hearns. Like Leonard Ellerbee, to me, just as a boxing fan, a connoisseur of the sport, who's watched the sport for a very long time, he's a joke. You have one fighter, not 3, 4, 5. You have one fighter. You have one. And you do 2 shows a year. And those 2 shows don't even rival the nominal success of a Matchroom show, let alone the major success. Shout out to my man Drew. That dude's tweet about Lenny caused an uproar. Oh, yeah, bro. That's why I went live. I was literally working on the next episode of The Relay. I wanted to do 3 episodes of The Relay today, but I decided to go live to roast Leonard Ellerbee because it's better in real time to highlight how incompetent and how delusional he is. Like, bro, like you've been saying that Javante was going to be the biggest draw in boxing for 4 years, and that shit still hasn't happened. The biggest fight for you is Ryan Garcia, which I think says a lot. I think that says a lot that you need him just to crack 300,000 pay-per-view buys because you've been on pay-per-view 4 times and you haven't done it yet. It's clear that you really can't do it alone, and you can't do it with the stable of fighters that they have at your disposal. And I think that accents the failure of Leonard Ellerbee as a promoter, celebrating what are mediocre and nominal successes. That, yes, he's a draw. He can draw a little bit, but you've been saying that he was going to be the biggest draw in boxing for the last 4 years, and he still isn't. He's not getting any younger. He's not going backwards. He's not Benjamin Button. He's not aging in reverse. And it's ridiculous how the American media, the American pundits, they don't roast him for this. They have no standards anymore. Very recently, I saw a PBC shill, Mark Ortega. He's one of those Jono Sabo Ortegas. He's not like a real Ortega. He's a Jono Sabo Ortega. You know what I mean? And he was talking about how Floyd Mayweather is still the face of boxing, it's comedy. It's like you have no choice but to bring up Floyd, a retired boxer who's relegated to doing exhibition matches, so that you don't have to acknowledge that you haven't been able to duplicate the success that came from Floyd when he was an active boxer because you didn't manufacture him. You didn't groom him. He didn't become what he became because of something that Al did or something that Leonard did. I mean, they really, and I've often said this, that they often attribute the success of Floyd Mayweather to something that Al did, when the only reason Floyd was as successful as he was because he was a generational talent. It's not because of something that Al Heyman did. It's not because of something that Leonard Ellerbee did. Outside of carrying spit buckets and being shoved into broom closets by Jay Prince's henchmen, Leonard Ellerbee is little more than a water boy, an employee of Floyd Mayweather's. He's not even a business partner. Lisa was good. LaRon was good. Mr. T was good. You know what I mean? Danny was good. And yeah, man, you know, I had to go live because I've been going back and forth on Twitter, and I saw some of the things that Leonard said, and I had to react because it's nauseating to see this kind of nationalistic dementia, these delusional guys that, if nothing else, they will bring up the name of retired Floyd Mayweather to escape from reality that neither Al Heyman, Tom Brown, Samson Lukowicz, or Leonard Ellerbee have been able to duplicate the success of a Floyd Mayweather, and it's because of what I've been saying. Maybe it's because he wasn't successful because of you guys. You guys think you got like a Mayweather machine where you can just mass produce these big draws in the sport, and none of the guys on that side of the street draw more than a little redheaded kid who's coming off a loss. None of them. It started with Jim D's tweet about Google Trends that set Leonard Ellerbee off and in his feelings. Tagged you in them, Jules. Yeah, I'm going in tonight, bro. I'm going in, you know. Going in tonight because, you know, I'm sick of these guys. Shout out to Jimmy DiMarino. That's my man right there, Jimmy DiMarino. Ow! You know what I'm saying? It's my guy right there. Shout out to my man Ronnie Boy Fresh. He the freshest. Freshest on the East Coast. Motherfuckers don't know. Motherfuckers don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to talk shit. I'm going to talk heavy shit. I'm going to talk shit that hurt people's feelings. Very recently, what's that guy's name? Derry, I forgot the guy's name. Shit. And yeah, man, he's a fucking water boy. He's a fucking employee. You're not the head of a major company, you understand. You're more like a steward. If Mayweather is the king, you're not the heir apparent. You're not related to the family. You are but a steward, a placeholder, an employee tasked with micromanaging things while Floyd is away doing exhibition matches that Americans don't care about. You had to go to the Middle East with Don Moore because the Jake Paul, well, the Logan Paul pay-per-view, nobody wants to see that shit in America, bro. I don't really believe it did $1 million, to be honest, because I'm like, if it did, it would have had to have been Logan Paul fans, because I can't stress this enough. There was nothing there for a boxing fan. Boxing fans would want to see Floyd against other boxers. They wouldn't want to see him against a YouTuber. I didn't buy it. You know, I don't know if any of you guys out there bought it, but just as a boxing fan, there was nothing on there for me as a boxing fan. I don't want to see Floyd versus a YouTuber. Why the fuck would I pay to see that? You know? So if anybody bought that thing, it would have had to have been the teens and tweens that follow Logan Paul, because he does have a big audience. He has a very big audience. Millions upon millions of people follow him on social media, which is why Floyd picked him in the first place. Underneath it all, Floyd knows that as accomplished as he is, he's not beloved. You aren't to America what Manny is to the Philippines. And that shit hurts. But that's the truth. You are not in this country what he is to his country. You are not in this country what Canelo is in Mexico. No, they don't like you like that over here. You fucking know that. That's why everybody's always moaning about it and harping about it, that Floyd is very accomplished and he was a big draw. But a big part of the reason that he was able to draw as many pay-per-views as he drew was because of who he was fighting. When he fought Andre Berto, did that do 1 million pay-per-view buys? No. You had to fight the Cottos and the Canelos and the Pacquiaos and the De La Hoyas to put up big numbers, because you know in your heart they didn't fuck with you like that. A big part of the reason they even watched you is because they hated you. And it eats you up inside. You can say what you want, but it eats you up inside. I know it does, you know? I know. That's because Floyd sold his soul for the bag. Hey, listen, he made a lot of money, and I think he's a great boxer. I never take anything away from his boxing. I never take anything away from his record. I call it down the middle. He's one of the best boxers that I ever saw. He's literally a generational talent, one of the best I've ever seen. But the truth is what the truth is. Floyd didn't do 2 million on his own on his own. Canelo helped him sell that. He did. Canelo brought the Mexican fans to the table, and Manny brought the Filipino fans to the table, and Miguel Cotto brought the Puerto Rican fans to the table. So let's just cut the crap and stop pretending that all these people that bought these fights only bought them to see Floyd. No, they didn't, because when he was fighting Berto, where were they? When he was fighting Guerrero, where were they? Do you think 2.3 million people bought Maypac because of Floyd alone by himself? No. They bought it because he's fighting Manny. You're both big draws. And there's this myth and this illusion that Floyd had the Midas touch. You didn't have the Midas touch in the Berto fight, or the Victor Ortiz fight, or the Robert Guerrero fight. It was who you were fighting that helped you sell. And that's why you can't duplicate your success with Gervonta, because you won't let him fight the people that would help him sell. Like I said this yesterday, that Gervonta can draw. He can draw. Like, he is drawing something, but you're never going to get to that next level and that next point until you fight the people that'll help you get to that next point. And that's not Isaac Cruz. That's not Rolly Romero. That's not Mario Barrios. These are not highly touted fighters. These are not fighters that have a following. Floyd is going against his own blueprint with what is supposed to be his fighter, what I view more as Leonard Ellerbee's fighter. I view Gervonta more as Leonard Ellerbee's fighter, actually, than Floyd's, because if anybody's micromanaging and making the coffee and getting the donuts, it's Leonard. It's not Floyd. Floyd is off in Japan trying to get paid to fight some fucking kickboxer. He's not micromanaging. This is common sense stuff. This fight is going to draw more than any Gervonta Davis fight so far, and Gervonta has been on pay-per-view 4 times. And people hate to hear that. They hate to hear that Canelo Alvarez fighting on an app against Dimitri Bivol sold more pay-per-views and generated more money at the gate than any Gervonta Davis fight, than any Errol Spence fight. It's the truth. It's reality. Because Canelo, unlike the fighters that you promote, is fighting in fights that people want to see, and that's why more people show up. It's like you can't keep thinking that you could be a wishy-washy ass person and go back in time. Leonard Ellerbee himself picked fucking Caleb Plant to beat Canelo. I didn't forget that. Leonard Ellerbee himself picked Caleb Plant to beat Canelo. So you cannot accuse Canelo of fighting in fights that people don't want to see when 800,000 people bought that fight on your fucking network. Your network. Not the Zone or Dead Zone or whatever stupid name you want to call it. More people on your network wanted to see Canelo than they want to see Gervonta. The network itself was willing to offer Canelo more money than they offer any of your fighters. So what does that say? What does that tell you? It's fucking pathetic. Yeah, Tank sold out the Barclays Center, right? What's the capacity at the Barclays Center? The capacity is now 15,000 down from 19,000, right? Canelo Alvarez put 73,000 asses in 73,000 seats. Broke the indoor record in America, the indoor attendance record in America, and he's not even fucking American. He wasn't even fighting a fucking American. That's how fucking hilarious the shit is. Like, I don't know what people get out of lying to themselves outside of a fleeting sense of accomplishment that, like, I don't even know what the point of it is anymore, you know? Let me see. Chris says that Tank sold 5 million at the gate. Yeah, and Canelo sold more than that with Billy Joe Saunders, close to 10 million, with a Brit that no Americans are familiar with outside of the hardcore boxing fan. 73,000 people showed up to see him fight a guy that most of them don't even know. 73,000 people, which generated close to 10 million at the gate, and even more people watched it at home. If we think about what Canelo did with Caleb Plant on Gervonta Davis's own network, close to 20 million at the gate. Close to 20 million. That's what five, that's about 4 times what Gervonta Davis did at the gate. It's fucking pathetic, bro. I don't know why y'all need to lie to yourselves about this shit. Maybe it's because you guys, unlike some other people, you live vicariously through fighters, and that's why you don't like facts. That's why you don't like to deal in reality, because you live vicariously through fighters. So when somebody says something that's just a matter of fact, it fucking hurts you as if they said something about your mother or your girlfriend or your dog. If I tell you that Canelo Alvarez generates more money on Gervonta Davis's own network, that really shouldn't hurt your feelings. But it does. You get defensive about it. Shit is silly. The fuck you getting defensive if I say that redhead sells more than everybody else? That's the fucking truth. That's not my opinion. That's the truth. And he's 27 years old, so I don't want to keep hearing about this, oh, he's gonna be. No, he ain't gonna be shit. Because they're only doing in-house fights. And you can't sell 1 million pay-per-view buys with Rolly Romero or Michelle Rivera or Rayo. You can't sell 1 million. You can't. Not fighting them. All this, he's gonna be. My God, he's been saying that for 4 fucking years. Y'all sound fucking crazy to me. Like, what are y'all, a cult? John Baker says, I don't think this live is about Tyson Fury. But if we're going to talk about Fraud Fury, let's talk about Fraud Fury for a second. Fraud Fury is the guy who 2 weeks ago said it would take $500 million to bring him out of retirement. And his spastic, retarded ass the following week says now he wants to fight Anthony Joshua for free. And something got to be wrong with you, John Baker, that's the guy you look up to. I wager that you probably have mental illness the same way that he has mental illness. And that's why you like him so much. Because you're claiming that I lied about something. I didn't lie about shit. I don't have to lie. Everything I say is recorded and it's on video. So you can play it back if I lied about something. Fucking pathetic ass loser motherfuckers that look up to these fucking... I don't have an idol. My whole life I never had an idol. I never looked up to anyone ever in my life the way you fucking losers do. I could wholeheartedly say my entire life there were 2 things, at least 2 that I can think of off the top of my head that I never did. I've never called a police officer for assistance. The only time I've ever called up a police officer was to pick up a dead body at my job, an old gig I used to do. That's probably the only time I've ever called the cops. I've never called them for anything else. And my entire life, I've never looked up to anyone, ever, for any reason. Whereas you guys, you look up to people. I don't I don't knock you. We're all different human beings. But because I'm smarter than you, I know that all human beings are flawed. So I don't really idolize them. I can admire certain traits about them. I can admire their work. I've always admired Khabib's religion. I'm not a Muslim myself, but I've always respected that he's a devout Muslim and that he's really a man of faith. I've always respected that. But I've never looked up to anyone. I can wholeheartedly say I have never idolized anyone, ever, for any reason. Where is the wrong side of the street crowd now? Oh, God, I should have bought that shit, bro. I didn't buy the gel blaster. I bought water guns to shoot the bees with, though. I did do that. Candace was good. You know what I mean? I did buy water guns, but I didn't buy the gel blaster, and I should. The water guns, I've been fighting hornets all summer with the water guns. And yeah, man, I could wholeheartedly say I never looked up to anyone, ever. my whole life. I was never one of those guys that gravitated towards individuals to fit archetypes in my life the way some of these kids do, that like they need a father figure. No, 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 not me. Not me. I'm Chronos, motherfucker. I don't have a father. Not me. I'm motherfucking Chronos out here, bro. Ain't nobody gets to say they ring IQ's daddy. I'm Chronos out here, man. Real gods don't got fathers. You know? And that's the real motherfucking deal. That's the real motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you motherfuckers, you get mad at me. You get mad at me for when I point out that, you know, they were making it difficult with Dillian White. They were making it more difficult than it had to be. You get mad at me for saying that, but it's the truth. Frank Warren ended up paying $41 million for a fight that could have costed only 30. And the only reason it costed 41 is because you had to beat out Eddie Hearn. See, that other kid, he don't want to say what I actually said. I didn't say shit about ducking shit. I said that Frank Warren is making the situation more difficult because if you give Dillian the 5, it'll be 30 mil in the pot. But you want to be stubborn. So you ended up having to put 41 million in the pot just to make sure that Tyson Fury don't go to the zone. So you made it harder on yourself. And when they hear that, they not hearing me. They hear some other shit. You stupid motherfucker. Fuck you gonna get mad at me for saying that. That's not the truth. If you would have gave Dillian White the 5, the extra 5 that he wanted, you priced the fight at 25. You give Dillian the 5 that he want, the fight is 30. What do? You don't give him the 5. It goes to a purse bid, and now you got to bid 41 just to not lose the rights to the fight. I can't help it that you're not as smart as me. Like it's not my problem that you dumb, because these are educational videos, but you are too fucking stupid to be educated. Once again, that's not my fault, not my problem. Martin Ramos, que lo que, manín? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Apov, Mr. Miyagi. I don't know, man. Exactly, Ivo. It's not their truth. They want me to say things in a certain way to accommodate the bitch in them. And I'm not going to do that. If you don't like it, you know that there's a proliferation of boxing channels, right? Don't watch this one. Do you know how many boxing channels I don't watch? Do you know how many? There's probably 95% of boxing channels. I don't watch them. I watch my mans in them, Boxing Beats and Rhymes, Sport and Icons, motherfucking D-Styles, whenever they do the round table, D-Styles, Maestro in them, and G-Funk. Other than that, I don't really watch a lot of shit, bro. I really don't. You know what I mean? I don't, because those is the only guys that I see that even when they don't like it, they're going to talk some sense. They're going to talk some sense. They're going to make it make sense, because generally that's what adults do. The year mark of a fully developed frontal lobe is making it make sense. Being emotional, I said it on the round table last week with the fellas. I fucking hate emotional people. I can't be around them. I don't have time for you and your chemical imbalances and your feelings. I don't. If you got a problem up there, you know what that is? That's a you problem. That's not a me problem, and it's not my problem. I don't have time for that emotional shit. I hate that shit. In fact, the only emotion that I do have is hate for that shit, because I don't have time for that shit. Being emotional, unless you can channel that energy and turn it into results, it's useless. Forgot Canelo Toyota Camry Davis hasn't surpassed Spencer's best crowd attendance or pay-per-view numbers. The level of mental gymnastics here is insane. They need to start giving out gold medals to these motherfuckers, man. All these gymnastics, they need to give them gold medals for this shit. Motherfuckers is like, y'all all over the place when, look, this is simple. Canelo is still the biggest draw in boxing. The day somebody else becomes the bigger draw, I'll be the first to tell you. But that day hasn't come yet. So why do you want me to say something else? Why do you want me to say something else? Why do you want me to celebrate mediocrity? I don't live like that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm fucking Kronos out here. Shout out to Cat. Never want to join the goddamn panel. I would shoot Cat the link, but Cat ain't gonna click the goddamn shit to come here and shoot the shit and talk the shit and say the shit. That Leonard is trash, bro. As far as promoters go, Leonard sucks. You have no champions in your stable. Most people don't realize that because they don't process the information fast enough. That Leonard has no world champions. The closest thing you have to a world champion is a guy with a baby belt. Even Manny Pacquiao Promotions has a world champion. They got the Fernando. No, not Manny Pacquiao. Chino Maidana Promotions has Fernando Martinez. They at least have him. At least. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking at least Pro Bellum has Paul Butler. At least. They got Paul Butler. They got my mans in them, Sonny Edwards. Leonard has no world champions. And this man got the nerve to be talking shit. The nerve. You don't have no dudes with no real belts. All you got is a dude that sold out the Barclays Center, and you, for some reason, think that's better than Canelo generating $20 million on your network. You should be ashamed of yourself how long you've been promoting that kid, and you can't get Showtime to give him 40 M's like they was ready to give Canelo 40 M's. What that say about you and your ability to promote? What it say about your ability to promote that you've been in America longer than Eddie Hearn, but this year he's going to put on a bigger fight than anything you're doing? Anything you, Samson, all them guys over there that be over there. Y'all not going to put on a show bigger than Golovkin versus Canelo 3. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. Leonard is a water boy carrying spit buckets for the Mayweather team. Carry them spit buckets, Leonard. Think you put a suit on and draw a goatee on your face? You hot shit? You not hot shit. You not big time, bro. Not big time. I went live specifically for this shit. You not big time, bro. You got fucking one fighter. He steps on a Lego, you ain't got shit to do for the rest of the year. You ain't got shit to do. If Gervonta Davis stubs his toe on the corner of the mattress, you ain't gonna have shit to do for the whole year. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Free boxing for all. Ain't that about a bitch? Motherfucker talk all day about how Eddie Hearn fucked off some money, right? But why don't you talk about how Al fucked off $500 million on Rod Salka versus Danny Garcia? Talk about that. Talk about that Waddle and Reed money, bro. Talk about it. I hate goofy shit like that. Listen, let me tell you something, Chris, right? Canelo could say that Tank is his favorite fighter the same way I could tell you that Mia Khalifa is my favorite porn star. It don't mean that Tank sell more than Canelo do it. So why are you telling me that Canelo said, yeah, Tank my favorite fighter? So does that mean that Tank sell as much or close to what Canelo sells? No. So why are you telling me? That shit is like, this is the weird type of shit that I'm talking about. You tell, well, Canelo said Tank his favorite fighter. Yeah, and I like Violet Myers. So fucking what? What the fuck that got to do with what we talking about? I don't understand shit. Like, I don't know. What do you think you're accomplishing when you do that? Or do you think you're proving me wrong by telling me, yeah, Canelo said that? I saw Canelo say that. Does that mean that Gervonta generated 18 to 20 mil at the gate? No. So then what the fuck are you telling me for? Oh, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, look, man, Violet Myers, Mia Khalifa, fuck it. All right? Like, I don't know. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that shit? Now, I see my man Ronnie Boy Fresh in the building, and we about to cook. Ronnie Boy, I'm going to put a link in here. Hey, listen, this link is for Ronnie Boy, all right? We going to keep it light tonight. I can't have 10 people on the chat, bro. We're going to keep it light tonight. I need Ronnie Boy to click that link, bro, and we about to cook. Stefan Espinoza can get to... Oh, man, Stefan is... Man, listen, man. Listen, man. Listen, man. All right? I got a lot of things I'm going to say about Stefan Espinoza. You know what I mean? Canelo saying that ain't gonna change Tank's situation. He gotta be a man and move out the house. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for Ronnie, y'all. I told you I can't have 10 people up here. I'm getting complaints. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking simple, bro. Simple. If I'm telling you the numbers, why you telling me? Well, Canelo said 10. Well, that's awesome. Does that mean the Tank generate 20 mil at the gate? Does that, Leonard Ellerbee, and shout out to Drew because Drew pointed this out. He pointed it out early on Twitter. How is Leonard Ellerbee sitting here talking about what promoters is doing? Nobody is giving you $83 million for no fight that you promote. No one, anywhere on earth. So why are you even talking? Who is giving you $83 million up front to buy a Tank fight from you? Who? Showtime don't even guarantee your boy the kind of money they guarantee Canelo. How could Canelo be on your network for one fight and they guarantee him 20 times the money that your fighter get? What that say about your fighter? What that say about you? We cooking tonight, yo. There go Ronnie. Ronnie, we gotta talk this shit, bro.
Yo, can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, bro. We gotta talk this shit, yo.
Slim, man, look, man. I've been dealing with Liddy for years about this motherfucking West Baltimore, this Bama from West Baltimore, Precious Cargo, man. This shit is ridiculous, Slim. Like it's getting out of hand, and you really have the most irking thing is you really have jokers shaking pom-poms for this shit.
I agree because
this is the most.
You know what the shit is? The meek inherited the earth, Ronnie. That's what the fucking shit is, bro. The meek have inherited the earth. You got a lot of guys that really need some shit. They need for Davis to be that guy. And what kill me is why you need for Davis to be that guy when Shakur is better, when Haney is better. Why does he have to be that guy? Like, you don't see that he's better, that he want the problems, he want the action, fighting at the gas station. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and when I pull a card, he can call me a troll all he want. Like I said, I'm the easiest motherfucker to find. I don't hide. You don't see no fucking letters in my shit. You see my face. You see my location. You see me be at this place, this place. At the end of the day, it feel like I do a disservice if I allow y'all to believe that this motherfucker is the goods.
I agree with that. Now. You got, see, this is what angers me, right? Not just as a boxing fan, but as an American. You had a fighter in Terrence Crawford that for 4 years was attacked. Everything he did was minimized and belittled, even though he is the fighter that is good for boxing. And because motherfuckers is stupid, they got more energy to defend Tank than to big up Crawford for all the shit he did.
It's the craziest thing to me. But see, they doing this thing to y'all. I mean, the people that don't know better. I remember I go to Baltimore all the time. That shit is evenly split. Half these motherfuckers know he ain't fighting nobody. I'm not making it up, and I don't need their hate. You dig what I'm telling you? So though it's always pretty much smoke and mirrors. But let's get back to the Bud thing. When I'm a huge Floyd fan. I used to go see Floyd all the time. You dig what I'm telling you? We talking about 90s. And everybody used to have a problem with Floyd. Floyd too flashy. Floyd this, Floyd that. And so it's like 2013 when I ran in the Bud, I was like, this motherfucker right here is different. Now, everything y'all had a problem with Floyd is this is the one that's the complete opposite. What's the problem with y'all following behind him?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot, like when I look at Bud, right? I understand that he don't have that Ali showmanship. I understand that. Every fighter not going to have that. Foreman didn't have it, and that's not in the beginning anyway. And that's cool. But he delivering where it counts, where it matters. Right. And I literally watched these guys for 4 years destroy my man's marquee value at a time. Remember, he did the best numbers of any combat sport in 2018 with Jose Benavidez. Y'all literally destroyed this man's marquee value. And y'all really think y'all on code. That's a
Right.
joke, fam. That's a
And
joke.
that shit, and I was there. I was there at the weigh-in and everything. I was like, people thought that shit was staged. They said that shit was not staged. Slim. I'm telling you, that shit was real.
What
It was
killed?
so real. It was so real. I don't know if I told you the story that I ate with David Benavidez. We were all in the same restaurant, my wife and I, and David Benavidez and his, the whole his little crew. But and I told you the story that Jose Benavidez couldn't come out of his hotel because people felt offended because of the gym thing and all that shit. And that shit is gang related out that bitch.
I mean, it's the shit
That
that,
shit
that
is real. That shit was real.
I
And
think.
I
I
and
think
it
that it's a thing where birds of a feather flock together. You understand me? That
man,
that you recognize something in Crawford, because Crawford is a fucking hero. I got to turn the camera on for this shit.
yeah.
I got to turn the camera on for this shit. See, Crawford is a motherfucking hero. He a no nonsense customer, and I
Zero.
I recognize the no nonsense in him. Whereas these guys is different than me and someone else, and they like the femininity. They like a dude that got a little bit of nail polish on his pinky. They like that shit. They like that type of shit. They like to be hugged up in a club with their man, like how Javante was hugged up in the club with Broner. They like that shit. And that's what it's all about. Hokey pokey. That's what it's all about.
Man, look, man. I don't know what's wrong with these motherfuckers, man. I can't call it. And then every time, and I'm real vocal, even when I see these motherfuckers in person, that saying, his fan base, they don't have answers. They don't have no answers. It's like they really, like you said, they flocking. I was like, are y'all really impressed by somebody's jewelry? If you notice, you ain't never seen Davis' house. Y'all don't even know if that motherfucker even got his house.
The funny shit is, look, it
You don't even
reminds
know
me.
if he even got cars. Y'all see
It
some
remind
jewelry.
me of the. Listen, he don't listen. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't think he getting the money that he getting, because if he was, why would a car dealership have your face on a billboard talking about you owe them 40K?
Right. But you notice that he's like, I've never really seen a so-called cash cow where they never did an all access and they ain't been to that man's house yet.
Nah, I mean, like, look, we know he not
I
like
was like, is he got no garage full of cars? But then you can't say it's not about the lifestyle because all he do is show off jewelry and money too. So that's not adding up, man.
Listen, the main thing with them guys is it's like the music industry of the 90s, where you had a lot of rappers, they'll get an advance from the label, and the layman, they don't even know what that money is. That's not money. That's an advance for your record, for your shoot, for your studio time. That ain't just money for you to go fuck it off in Atlantic City. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what this remind me of. They're like, yo, dog, like the whole chains and shit like that, fam. It's not the 90s. It ain't 95. It ain't 2001. Show me a chain of barbershops that you got. Feel me? Show me a chain of laundromats in Baltimore. Show me a building that you renovating, and then I know it's real. But all you showing me is these goofy ass chains, bro. That shit just some
That's
shit.
it.
That's it, bro.
That's it. You ain't, and I noticed that. I was like, why we ain't seen that? Because we seen Haney house, Haney, but we seen the garage full of his
Ain't
shit. You know
getting
what I'm saying?
paid, bro. That's why I fuck with young Devin. Devin, the motherfucking dream, bro.
Young and been doing it. And then the Shakur stamp that years ago, he was like, when I was stayed out Haney and them Ben had money. He's like, I'd never seen houses like that till I stayed out. I was like, Haney been stamped off the strength of his father, of course, but it don't matter. He still had it. You did want to tell you he got his company.
But see, this is the other thing. You got a father, right? See, we come from the same generation, Ron.
Yeah.
We come from the generation where a lot of us, myself included, I don't know about you, but I mean, have fathers, bro. That's why I call myself Kronos, because I don't have a father, my guy. Fuck a father. I am my father, all right? I birthed myself, all right? So check the shit. And you got a great example, a wholesome example that my generation was really not used to outside of sitcom television.
Yeah.
You literally got that in Bill and Devin. When he got off that plane, I swear to God, it ain't even cap. When Top Rank did that featurette that Bill got off the plane, my eyes welled up a little bit.
I'm telling you.
That shit was beautiful. I don't give a shit. And that shit was beautiful, fam. Because I ain't
Bill
know
a
he was
stand up guy too, man. I fuck with Bill. I mean, I fuck with Bill, man. Like it ain't, and me, I was raised by my father and my grandfather, so I grew up a little different. So I understand, and then like I have my son, I can feel that shit. You dig? So, but man, it's just that I just don't fall for the gimmick, and motherfuckers hate that I pull cards. And I'm sorry if you feel offended
I feel
about
it's
your boxer or
toxic,
your
bro.
favorite boxer.
You gotta be real. You gotta be real, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, and I don't
I
hide
feel
nothing
it's
I say.
toxic, Ron. I feel it's toxic because what they glorify about Gervonta, I honestly feel that it's propagating something that is
Yeah,
negative. I honestly feel like it's a
and,
little deeper. I don't like to get too deep into the shit, but Alexis Rimbero, and shout out to him, Asabache on Twitter, he said it best, that they propagate the negativity in the community, and these are the fighters that they rather exalt than a quiet as kept assassin in Terrence Crawford. Nah, y'all don't promote him. He doing the
right,
family thing, got a bunch of kids. He be fucking his wife, and she be busting out them
right,
kids. And that's cool. That's good. Like, yeah, he fucking his wife. She getting out them kids, and that's
yeah.
great. But y'all don't big him up. But you'll big up this.
That's a question I was gonna ask. That I find it extremely odd that a person in boxing who should be elevated to make the sport look better, a guy who has a nuclear family, a guy who doesn't get in trouble, a guy who has kids, like you said, has been with this girl since he was high school. Why are fans not gravitating towards somebody like that
And,
who they can show their children and they can show their friends, look, this is the guy that I admire and I want to root for. You want to gravitate toward the guys who are in the club wrecking cars, drinking and acting fools. To me, I don't understand it whatsoever.
Because
Let
our
me
and I
address
used to.
society doesn't
let me address
reflect
the
it.
super chats. Let me address the super
Mhm.
chats because they're piling up. Shout out to my man D Styles with the Styles. It's the Dragon Style. Ow! Virtuoso says Mayweather Promotions should be renamed House Arrest Promotions with the way they protect Tank. We got Floyd Ass Kisser in the building. Shout out to Floyd Ass Kisser. Let me go to the next super. Cat, you are too kind, Cat. You ain't had to do that. Tank's promotion is actually genius compared to who he has fought and what he has accomplished compared to Haney and Stevenson, and it still be considered in that conversation says a lot, though. His fan base is strong, and I disagree, Cat. I wholeheartedly disagree because I only see this fan base on social media. They're not in the street. They're like, nah, they're not in the street. See, Wilder is a fighter that came close to fighting. Came close to crossing over. One of my coworkers that was not big on boxing actually asked me about him because he knew I'm a big boxing fan. He actually asked me about him. And it's things like this that are the gauge and the meter for how much mainstream appeal a fighter is developing. The kid asked me about Joshua. The kid asked me about Wilder. So I told him, da 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 da. I never had nobody asking me about Tank. Now Ryan, yeah, people actually do know Ryan, but not because of boxing. It's because of a video or some shit he did with Logan and one of them blonde dudes, man. He did one of them. You know what I mean? That's why they know him. It ain't because he fucking beat Luke Campbell. I'll tell you that. They don't even know who the fuck Luke Campbell is. I personally don't feel that his fan base is that strong. Shout out to Cat.
It can't be. The fan base isn't strong. You know why? You know why the fan base isn't strong? Because they know soon as he's in a competitive fight and a fight that he lose, it's over.
It's over.
It's no struck. It's over. They know it's over. Everybody knows it's over.
Kat trying to have a debate with me tonight because she said it's not about who you fight anymore, it's how you promote it. You can fight the worst fighter in the world, but promote it like David versus Goliath and people eat it up. And this is why I'm going to disagree with you, Kat. Because people really don't, it doesn't register yet. I'll give everybody else a couple of months because I know I'm smarter than every human being on the planet, except for Elon Musk because he's not human. George Kambosos just made $10 million. He went from 1 million or a little over $1 million to 10 million. Why? The belts. And had he won the fight with Devin, he would have continued to get that kind of money. So where we think that Gervonta Davis's niche market can keep him winning, right? Or keep him earning huge purses, bro, George's purse was bigger than yours. His money guaranteed was bigger than yours. You probably had to fight 3 times to get what he got up front. Probably. Because what did Gervonta Davis get up front for Rolly? $2 million. What did he get up front for Cruz? $1 million. What did he get up front before that for Barrios? $1 million. What did he get up front for Leo Santa Cruz? $1 million. So the money you getting up front, you had to fight probably 4 times to try to come close to what George just got up front. Now, why did George get that? Was it because George is super popular or because George has a massive following? No, it's because of the fight he was in. An undisputed fight that drew out 41,000 Australians. Drew international attention because while the fight was in Australia, here in America, on the biggest sports network in the country, 1.3 million people were watching. In America, that is called international interest. If Devin and George is in Australia, 60,000 people bought the pay-per-view, 41,000 showed up to the fight, and 1.3 million in America were watching the shit. That's international interest. Now, was it because Devin has a big following? No. Was it because George has a big following? No. It's because it was the best versus the best.
And it was not only the best versus the best, it had meaning. Going undisputed has meaning to casual fans. So, I mean, that does have merit to people who don't really follow boxing. That's why the Mayweather-Pac fight was so big, is because it had merit, because those guys had grown not only a following, but they did it off the legacy of the belts they won, the titles they won.
Motherfuckers gonna hate me in the next 12 months because this gonna be the all Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson channel. I'm gonna promote the shit out of them too, especially Shakur.
And you know how I've been consistent, how I feel about Shakur, how I've been feeling about Haney and several levels. Bam, Rodriguez. I'm consistent about who I fuck with.
It's funny though too, fellas. Like, it's not going away. Shakur even said, like, don't ask him about me.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Let me say this. I love how my man from Newark, New Jersey is handled. Like yo, he shut this shit down 2 times already. Like, yo, fam, stop asking me about this cat. I'm not talking about this cat, fam. You ask him about me. I'm not going to be sitting here just talking about Tank to be, fuck all that. And the media is to blame because y'all know damn good and well what Floyd said. But y'all still gonna act like as if it's up to Shakur.
Right.
Hey Slim, what's gonna be the noise when my man Shakur go to 35?
You know what it's gonna be.
I keep telling you, the magic man is gonna be Jay Prince. Jay Prince is gonna get the job done. He's gonna make the fight.
What's the narrative they're gonna try to say? Like, he need to fight somebody else?
I'm glad Ronnie is here because Ronnie was touched by the boxing gods, and he knows exactly what I mean when I say that when Shakur get this 35, the pressure gonna be on.
Yeah, and Jay Prince is different. Jay Prince have something that he can bring to the table.
One thing I wanted to say
make the fight made.
One thing I wanted to say real quick to what Robert was asking earlier is why don't the fans go for the guy who stays out of trouble, has the nucleus family, and that sort of thing? It's because that's not what unfortunately, it's not what our society reflects. And
I'll say, you right, country, you right.
You know,
they choose to promote the negativity, the powers that be, and the images that they put on our screens. It's like that line that Jada said, man.
And they blatantly
Denzel had to be crooked before he took it. It's a message in that bottle, man. Motherfuckers don't want to read it. Why Halle had to fuck Billy Bob Thornton to get the Oscar? Why Denzel had to be crooked before he took it in Training Day?
And you know, they got a scam. It's a perfect scam. You piss off the Mexican fan base and you align yourself with the urban market.
Bro, wait, let me say this. Let me say this. Let's argue his fan base, whether strong or temporary, are buying his tickets and his pay-per-views. And Tank ain't fighting a Lopez or a Haney like Cambosos. Think about it. Listen, I actually have thought about it extensively because I have a machine I could go to where time stops and I don't age, so I could think about it. And when I thought about it, I'm like, look, man, Tank 27, right? At this age,
Alabama 28.
He basically 28. And at this age, look at what Oscar was doing at this age. Look at what Canelo was doing at this age. And you want me to consider this nominal, local ass, basic ass, $5 ass. This is not success. You not really.
None.
It's not like you've been on pay-per-view 4 times. You ain't cracked 300,000 yet. So
And Ron Boy said it all right there. Like, man, you've been on 4 pay-per-views, no all access. We ain't seen your crib. We ain't seen your cars. That just says it all right there.
Right. As long as we've been looking at access, how many times we've seen everybody call house. I'm like, does this motherfucker? And I ain't trying to hear that you got this exclusive ass house where we can't see your fucking house, and we can see a Kardashian house. I know we can see your shit.
Real shit. Like, listen. All I'm saying is, it's easy. It's kind of like, how could I put it? It's kind of like when you go to a really expensive restaurant, right? And I've always thought this. You go to a really expensive restaurant, and the portion size is not generous, and they'll put the garnish and they'll decorate the plate and. I'm like, this is not a lot of food, though. Regardless of how you decorate, this is not a lot of food. I want a lot of food. I want a lot of shit. You putting some sauce and a little parsley. Oh, it's not a lot of food, bro. All right. Now with Gervonta Davis, it's the same deal. The presentation looks good, but when you really dig deeper for the substance, no, it's not there. How do I know, bro? You've been on pay-per-view 4 times. You ain't cracked 300,000 yet. You haven't. Like you haven't.
This is like a reflection. This is a reflection of not only the fan base, but also the United States in general. When you just talk about the fact that, just like what you said, you're giving people this mediocre, poor product, and they are happily taking it in and accepting it as being something that is as valuable today as it was before. And then the few of us who open up our mouths and say, wait, this is shit. What you were feeding us is shit. And they look at you like you're crazy. It's like we have a history that proves this is shit.
Well,
Look,
I'll
let me give you an example. Let me give you an example, right? You got a guy right here. I think his name is Sports Brotherhood. He calls it tank hate. It's hate that I want to see him fight Vasyl Lomachenko. That's hate. It's hate that I want to see him fight Shakur Stevenson. I thought it was boxing, bro. I thought that if Shakur is good and Tank is good, I thought I was supposed to want to see them fight.
Wait, so
I just want.
When does Tank move the needle?
I want Sports Brotherhood to hop on the panel and explain to me how he moves the needle more.
Yeah, move the needle.
His jewelry don't even shine brighter than Devin, so it can't be money. So,
bro, listen, I always told y'all, young Devin the Dream is not a dream. It's reality, bro. Right? He got listen. This is
and what people don't know about Devin.
Wait. Motherfuckers don't like to accept certain shit. Devin got 2.8 without Tank. What are Tank's opponents getting? Are they getting 2.8? No. Ryan got 2 without Tank. What are Tank's opponents getting 2? No, Tank is getting 2.
I don't even understand.
And the thing with Devin, they should be happy for Devin. Slim, they should be happy for Devin because Devin rolled with his pops, and Bill Haney was paid before this boxing shit.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I still can't. But like I said, it's just smoke and mirrors, and it's only a matter of time. They really can't protect them that much longer.
I love it. Yo, listen. I'm gonna love it because that Sunday morning, I'm swear to God, I might go running naked through. No, I ain't gonna do that.
Hey, another point I'd like to make in regards to like Canelo being the face and cash cow. The thing is this: Canelo has pretty much. It's safe to say, has all of Mexico behind him. Okay,
not all, but you're right. Not all, but you're right. You are right.
Yeah, he has the majority of a lot of Mexico behind him. He has a large number of the Mexican fans and other fans on the other side of the border here in the U.S. behind him. You know, so of course he's going to be a big draw, and he's the face.
Right.
And those guys, whether it's Tank or Errol Spence or any of these, a lot of these guys, they can't even dream of coming close to getting the numbers that Canelo does because they don't have that.
Well, also this. Look, I'm not Rambo. I'm not the guy online that likes to pass himself off as Rambo. You understand me? I'm not a tough guy. I'm a family guy. I like fucking, laughing, and squeezing soft ass cheeks. That's what I love. Those is the thing. And boxing. I love my boxing.
As we all should.
As we all should, right? But you can't expect me to celebrate it. You can't expect me to celebrate this bitch assness. You really can't.
I can't do it, Slim.
I can't. I have never seen this kind of bitch. I swear to God, I've been watching this sport for a millennia. I have never seen this kind of bitch assness. Read that shit.
Mayweather urges Haney Stevenson to fight each other. Don't worry about Tank. Moi.
Right.
Can you imagine?
How does he move the needle? Because that point wasn't interrogated. This guy doesn't hit 300,000 buys. He's not going to fight the two other best fighters in his weight class, in and around his weight class. What fucking needle does he move other than his out of camp weight?
And then, at the end of the day, but I do feel uncomfortable. I really do feel uncomfortable comparing anybody to Canelo unless they AJ. That's why I don't even get into that, because I don't even take nobody serious when they even, you know what I mean, when they're trying to tell me that 2 + 2 = 5 is what I'm hearing. I'm dead ass serious.
Like when they said Errol was the face, like when they said Errol was the face.
Like this shit is crazy.
Let me read the super chat from the lovely cat who says, y'all not understanding what I'm saying. We all agree that Tank ain't fighting nobody. But the way he's promoted makes you think that he's the number one dude. Any fight involving Tank will crack the bank. That's a fact. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. There's 9 guys on this panel right now. Not a single one of them thinks Tank is number one. Stop me when I tell a lie.
I do in my dreams.
He's not even on number one in boxing. He's not even number one in his own weight class.
Maybe he's the number one butterball in Baltimore. Maybe he's the number one butterball.
Actually, in none of the weight classes he was in.
Literally none of them. When he was at 30, Lomachenko was number one. When he was at 35, Lomachenko was number one. And
Chuck was still number one.
Then George, and now it's Devine Haney.
Dog, he's been a pro since February of 2013. That's 9 years, and they move him like a prospect still after 9 years.
The issue with
they move him like post-prison Tyson. Every fight is Peter McNeely.
Yo, but Jules, can I make a couple points? Go
ahead, Jay.
By the way, I don't like Floyd's ass. I'm just trolling, but No, I mean that's my handle, Floyd. That's me. In case y'all didn't know.
No, I mean, look.
No.
Yeah, Jay.
No, I just want to say, like, I mean, I just want to ask that sports guy quit. So, like, we're hating on Tank because we all want to see him in relevant fights, and I thought Earl was the cash cow. Didn't he crack like 300 buys or something?
That's what I'm saying. If Tank could be if Tank quote unquote moves the needle, right? Here is the totem pole of guys that move the needle at the PBC, not counting Canelo, who don't need a Tyson Fury to move the needle. It would be, if there's a cash cow or anyone who had the potential to become that, it was actually Wilder. 325,000 in his debut, 800,000 in his next fight, 600,000 in his last fight. Neither Errol Spence or Gervonta Davis have done those numbers. None of them.
That's true.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Hey, so first off, how you been? It's been a minute since I've been here.
All right.
Otherwise, there's one fallacy, Kat, with your statement that, well, any fight involving Tim will crack the bank. Well, we saw that didn't happen with Isaac Cruz.
That's true.
So, again, at the same time, the only reason the Rolly fight did better was because there was some build-up to it. Funny enough, it wasn't anything that Tank did. I bought the fight mostly because of the promotion of Rolly and my delusional dream that maybe, just maybe, he'll win. So respectfully, that's not true. Any fight of him will not crack the bank.
Shout out to my man Chris Andre, who got a boxing channel here on YouTube. I appreciate you. Chris says, going back to Bud, promoting negativity keeps people controlled. They want us focusing on the bullshit like black versus white. They want us to value soulless stuff. They're waging a war on God, but people aren't ready for that. No, I'm ready because I want to have that conversation. I don't normally get religious. I don't normally get political. But these broads you see on Instagram with the fat old cakes, look at their eyes. They're fucking dead. They're dead. They're dead. Look at their eyes. I'm not playing with you. Look at their eyes as they stare into their phone and look back at their own image and tell me you don't see a dead woman without a soul.
Just normalizing dissent. What's the word I'm looking for?
But fellas, this humanity goes through this every couple thousand years. So
see, Drew, I'm telling you, I've been here since 1,000, 5,000. No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Every empire
is the end.
Listen. In ancient Greece, when they started fucking the boys out in the open at 10, 11, that society fell.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
No. All right, look, let me champ the shit. Nobody say nothing. Let me champ the shit. I'm gonna tell you where we are in society right now, right? we're at the point in society, and I often talk about this experiment because it's the perfect parallel for life, the 25th dimension. We're at the point where the males are no longer acting like males. And because they're no longer acting like males, the females are not attracted to them. And this causes the populace to go down. Coincidentally, there's a survey that says that people are having less sex. Now, guys like me and Ronnie, we're going to get some pussy. Whatever's whatever. But these young guys, they're so fucking weak. It's getting to like they don't know what they're doing. They're losing the traits that make them masculine. And in losing the traits that make them masculine, they appear less attractive to the opposite sex. Thus, they copulate less. And that is where we are in society.
Yeah.
They are delimiting the line of what makes a man a man.
Like it goes back to the point. They're more fanboys of other men. They want approval from other men, like the same thing that was happening in Greece. They were just wanted the approval of men. Dudes go to the club now to go stun on other dudes, not to get no pussy.
Bro, it's like you ever went to a rec center party? I know y'all went to rec center parties. It's ghettos all over America. They got a fucking rec center. When you're young, you go to the rec center before you got the money to go to the club because you're a kid, and they throw rec center parties or block parties. And you get there, and man, look, man, I'm here for two things: liquor and to get on some ass. And it's always that one guy ice grilling, like, bro, it's bitches all over this motherfucker. Why you grilling motherfuckers? It's ass and titties all up and down this shit. It's summer. It's hot. And you here to fight. You're like, fam. It's always guys like that. And those are the weirdos that fuck it up for everybody. You not here for the broads. You're here for the fellas.
Then that goes to what their proclivities really are, but they ain't comfortable being open. Any dude that goes to a function and wants to get in some shit with another dude, he's suspect.
Listen, I've been saying that big bro shit. One thing I always hated I've always hated Adrian Broner. My whole life, I've always hated him. Why? The big bro shit. I told you at the top of the show, and it's not cap. I don't never looked up to nobody. So seeing a grown man call a guy that is not related, big bro. Ooh, that shit used to flat ass itch. Like, big bro, like, what you want to give him a bath? Like, what you want to carry his bag? Like, come on, fam. Like, you a man, fam. Big bro.
You said that. You said that, and I visibly cringed.
And then it's the unfortunate thing, like Ronnie was saying. Like, I'm fortunate enough. I had my father, I had two of my grandfathers, and I had two of my great grandfathers. So when you have men in your life, 9 times out of 10, you don't come out fucked up like this.
Legitimate.
There's exceptions to the rules, obviously, but for the most part, if you got a father in your life that'll go upside your head when you fucking up too, you come out all right.
Or you got the old heads on the block that'll twist your shit up when you out of pocket. That'll twist your shit up and make you understand. Like, we got extraordinary in the building. I don't know if I recognize extraordinary.
It's statistically proven that if you have a father, a male figure in your life, that all the things that bad, quote unquote, happen, if it's going to jail, if it's dropping out of school, if it is committing, like I said, crimes, suicide rates, all those things go down massively when there's a male father figure in a child's life.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that is one of the great equalizers.
You need that balance. You know, your mother teaches you to think. Your father teaches you to do. You know what I mean? You need both. It ain't, and there's this thing, and I notice it. The older I get, the more apparent it becomes to me. And I'm not gonna get weird. I'm gonna just say the more apparent it becomes to me that the images that come through the screen and the music that comes out of the radio, it propagates certain negativity in all of us. And this is what they mass produce.
Correct.
All right, now you got guys, and it appeals to people because like I said, I see Terrence Crawford, right? He don't really be in a lot of shit. He got his kids, and he's proud of his kids. He goes to their sports functions. He got his wife or his girl. He be fucking because he got a lot of kids, so I know he fucking. He probably got
all Terrence does is do y'all remember? Do y'all remember Bud's Instagram years ago? How all he used to do is, because now it's a little different because they sort of put the press on him to just be more about boxing. But years ago, all he did was post fishing joints, his kids, and all that.
That's what I was going to say, Ron. All Bud does is go fishing, go to the gym, and he's a wrestling dad.
Shit.
He's a fucking wrestling dad.
And let me say this before I pass it to extraordinary. Let me say this. Let me say this before I pass it to extraordinary. See, I don't want to sound crazy, but Bud is your atypical alpha. Bud is Thanos, right? When you seen Thanos, like, all right, I just beat the shit out of everybody. Now what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna pick. Remember what Thanos did after he beat the shit out of everybody?
Yep.
Pick some vegetables. Put the shit in the pot. Chilling on his shit. Ain't nobody around. He chilling. That's your atypical alpha. All that loud shit and all that weird shit. You just compensating for something with that. Right. If you gotta be loud and all that, you compensating for something because on some real shit, I love being by myself. It's the greatest fucking thing. Leave me the fuck alone with my snacks.
Amen.
That's a Capricorn.
Man.
That's a Capricorn.
I travel, like, people always wonder, like, why you go by yourself? Because I move, I'm comfortable. I can go anywhere I want. By myself.
Thank you, Ron. Like people,
I swear to God.
Exactly. Like
that's how real men move.
I go all to the fights by myself, motherfucker. I flew to London on the Dolo.
And I appreciate it. Like when I moved, I had my system. I had my people when I was up in New York. I had my guys that I know for millions upon millions and get drunk and all that shit. Right? I had all that. But you get older, you start a family, you move away, And I love being by myself. It's the greatest fucking thing.
That's a good sign. That is a sign. That is a sign of being secure in yourself. That's a sign of a good, healthy self-esteem.
Yeah, like, bro, I'm flying to Dubai next month, and I'll be in Saudi for the fight.
And you never know. You might see a Saudi Arabian titty out there, like lift the shit, little titty pop up. You never know, bro. It's so
you already know. And like I said, me and Drew was by himself. I was by myself. But when you real, you gonna run into somebody because the real one gonna always pee. Oh man, that's my man. He always out here. Boo, boo, boo. That's how it always is. Like it's
that's like when I was hanging out with my friends, man. I mean, if they couldn't go, I was gone. I was like, okay, I'm going here, or I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, and I went.
One of my favorite things to do is, wake up, go out, run my errands by my motherfucking self. I can think about whatever the fuck I want to think about. Listen to I love that. It's peaceful. And what I see is it's childish. When we was kids, I'm pretty sure when we were all children, we were probably all terrible. I know I was terrible as a child and a teenager, and even as portions of a young adult. Oh, it's terrible, bro. But when you get older, all that shit go away. And I see that, okay, well, Crawford would be the grown-ass man of the shit. Because when you see the shit that the image of him you see, he's a father. He be fucking his girl, a lot of kids. He go to their sports function. He like to go chill and catch big old fish, and that make him happy. It don't got to be all this showy shit that, I got to get this chain. Man, fuck all that bullshit.
That's real man shit, Ring IQ, man.
You never see him drinking. You never see him out crazy, acting crazy.
That's real nigga shit. Because you see Crawford out here, he making moves like a man, man. You don't see him out here dancing in videos and shit, kissing other men on the cheek and all that old bullshit right there.
None of that shit.
He's not getting banned from Uber. He's not getting banned from Uber. All that bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like I understand that we all had a wilderness in all of us, which is why I don't knock young guys. When Shakur got in the fight at the gas station, I didn't say nothing. He's young, fam. Like, stop pretending. If you wasn't getting into fights at his, I don't really understand you, because I feel like, well, at least where I was from, that's kind of normal. You're gonna do your wild shit in your 19, your 20, your 23, 20. That's when the wild shit is happening.
Yeah, we all did that.
It's all part of maturing. I mean, can you imagine looking back now and going, I can't live that life. I'm 43 years old. I can't even imagine the stuff I did when I was 20. Because I matured. You grow up.
I was a fucking hothead, man. I used to get into goddamn fights all the motherfucking time. Like, couldn't nobody tell me shit. Motherfuckers say to look at me wrong, I'm ready to swing. But see, that's when you young and you know what I'm saying.
And where I was raised, fortunate enough, where I was raised, it was heavy pimp culture. So the only time I was raised in the Bay, I raised in Oakland. So the Oakland area. So no, check this out. The only time I ever got into shit was dudes wanting to fight over abroad. And that's not player where I come from.
Like the main thing is one, at least for certain kinds of males, because I've actually seen the reverse. I've seen guys, at least before I left New York, where I lived most of my life, that they were the reverse. They were sheltered as children. So as men, they gravitated towards doing wild shit because to them it was exotic. Whereas the kids that was outside, like myself, you doing all your wild shit as a young buck out there, 18, 19, 20, 22, you on fucking fire, bro. You in all type of shit. You are on fire. So when you get to 30, I'm not going into this loud ass club to listen to this mutant. No,
I'll go even further. I'll go even further.
That shit no more, man.
We come from a generation, like I know y'all, Jules, Ron. When we was 8, 9 years old, riding our bikes, getting into shit, not coming home to the sun, the lights went down.
Yeah, we had the whiskey marathon where we just bought Jack from Thursday to Friday to Saturday to Sunday, just trying to die. I can't do that now. I will die if I do that now. You do all that crazy shit when you're young, when your body can handle it. So when you get older, you can settle down, raise your children, teach them shit, etc., etc. And I see that what the media loves to promote is youth. They love to promote youth culture. So they promote that. They promote that negativity of blowing exorbitant amounts of money on meaningless shit and cars that are a liability. Like, fam, like it's so obvious that like, yo, there really is something that works.
But see, because Crawford don't do none of that shit that he don't sell.
Exactly.
Because, you know what I'm saying?
The thing,
that bullshit.
They push the youth because that's when you have the most disposable income. That's why you see boy bands doing so big. That's why you see clubs doing so well. Is because whenever you're those ages, that's when you have disposable income to waste. When you're 22 years old, you're not thinking about your 401. You're not thinking about buying a house. You're not thinking about saving or that kind of stuff.
But moreover, they're promoting it. They're promoting it as an ideal, in other words, because look, you go on Instagram. They want this to be the quote unquote ideal when maybe this is ideal for a 22-year-old, but it's not ideal for a 30-year-old, a 35-year-old, a 40-year. No, it's not ideal. And this is all youth culture. I don't aspire to a big chain. I aspire to a quiet Sunday with my snacks. My bills are paid. All my bills are paid. Yeah. My kids have food in their belly, and that is what I aspire to. Well, it sounds very boring, but believe me when I tell you, it's heaven. It's heaven.
Right. Because you're a little bit older, you've matured, and you want to look for security. What makes me cringe is when I see people on Instagram or on social media or even out in public, and these are grown people, 35, 40 years of age, and they're having all these like stupid like problems with relationships where they're like, they got a bunch of people fighting over it, physical, emotional on social media. They're out in the club at 2:00 in the morning and they're half naked and acting a fool. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you're 38 years old. You got 3 kids. Like, this is an embarrassment how you're acting like
they
this.
They don't spend time with their kids or nothing. They don't do none of that shit. They don't spend time with their kids. They only thing is to be out in the streets and shit like that, doing things like you said, like they used to do the youth culture. You know what I'm saying?
It's literally a lot of the shit that they sell. If you really pay attention to the TV shows and the commercials and just everything that is put out there by the media itself, in the media, it's literally youth culture that is unappealing to me, which is why I watch less and less television. Like, unless it's Law and Order SVU or some shit, probably not gonna watch that shit. You know, I watch less and less television. And what I notice about it is, well, that's the negativity that they try to promote. So you'll have fighters that are not otherwise quote unquote charismatic. Like Andre Ward was never a charismatic guy, but he was a good boxer. And the boxing was not enough. The same rings true for Crawford, to where, look, what counts is actually happening. He's beating these guys. He's a multi-weight champion, 2-time lineal, 2-time Ring Magazine, undisputed, 3 division. But that's not enough. You need for him to be toxic so you can sell him.
Adrian Broner.
Exactly.
But most people nowadays, they don't even look at Broner's accomplishments. I mean, he actually had a pretty good boxing career at one point in time. Now people think about him acting like a fool. And most of the reason they only put him on TV anymore is because before the fight, he'll show his whole ass. So it's diminished what he actually accomplished as a boxer. Now when you think of the guy, you just think of the guy as being an embarrassment, in my opinion, at least.
I mean, like, I think about Broner, right? And he remind me of guys that I knew that it's like, look, man, that shit get old. Being like that shit get old. Like, just being that way, you feel like you appear as a man child. Like, you gotta aspire to have your shit together. Your finances are in order. You got your broad. You don't already dipped in a lot of pussy, and now you got your broad. You got your broad, that's your broad. You might have a side chick, but that's your broad.
Look no further than what he did in the Maidana fight. That lets you all you need to know about him.
Yeah,
that little.
Like I
hump
said,
move,
like
yeah.
listen, like I said, I really try to all I get. I try not to judge. I really do. But that big bro shit, I knew something ain't. See that you sweet, cause I never my big bro. What big bro? Fuck.
Well, I mean, what Jules, he let Tank kiss him. So what does that tell you?
But even before that, Jay, the big bro shit, like for some reason, that shit always like, why you calling Floyd your big bro? Because he got money? So what you want to do? Suck his dick?
He's probably
He might have well called him dad.
the dude's probably got something. He probably didn't have a male father figure in his life. There's probably something missing
Bro,
inside
yeah,
that
but
guy.
you know why I don't that shit don't mean, because neither did I, but I didn't call nobody big bro.
Sir,
I didn't even call my old heads big bro.
I am not defending it. I'm just trying to explain why his behavior is that way. Because we all gonna react to things that are differently. So yeah, I agree
Somebody
with you.
probably touched him at the group home or some shit.
Oh,
Somebody probably touched him at the. Because look, man, I'm just saying that certain shit always stands out to me. Like what I said yesterday about Ryan. Ryan is weird, bro. I don't understand this kid at all. Like I don't know what the fuck you are, bro.
Not too long ago on Twitter, he put up a video of him like making out with a boxing glove or some shit, and I'm like, what? I'm not kidding. I don't understand. It's like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? Like
this shit, like when he did the TikTok. See, one thing, I don't know why girls love lip singing. If you pay attention, girls love lip singing. Can't carry a note with two hands, but they love lip syncing for some reason. And I seen that TikTok of Ryan lip syncing, and I'm like, yo, you really sat there and pointed a camera at your face doing that shit. You wanted to do that. Why?
That's questionable.
To be fair, I can't understand half the shit that happens on TikTok. I guess I'm too old for that.
I ain't gonna lie. I like animal TikToks, like Tony Baker when he do the voiceovers. I like those shits.
I've seen too much cringy shit on TikTok, Jules. Man, some of the shit I've seen makes me want to bleach my eyes.
Look, I seen certain shit like they did like a collage of shit where the dude was holding the girl hostage. He was like a Star Wars fan. I ain't gonna lie, I laughed at that shit. But all this lip syncing. Oh, we gonna do the new dance? Like, man, you don't get the fuck out of here with that shit.
I don't even know how to do that TikTok shit, bro. I'm like,
look, if you're 11,
when he was holding that phone, how the fuck you work this shit?
Look, exactly. If you 11 or 12, that's for you, man. If you like 20, going on your 30s, man, hey, grow up.
But I mean, but Jules, you said that how Ryan was like lip syncing to like that girl song, right? If I like saw that and I'm a boxer, right, and I fought Ryan in a fight and he whooped my ass, I'm never going outside again.
Bro, I'm not going outside. I live under the building. I wouldn't even go outside. Like, that's like getting your ass whooped by a tranny. A lot of motherfuckers in Washington Heights, they got their ass whooped by a tranny talking out the side of their yap. It's a rule. Don't fucking fight no tranny, bro.
Again, Ryan's priorities, though, but it's pretty much been look, despite what he says and all the shit he claims, look, his priority is not boxing. It is TikTok. It is Instagram. It is being a social media. He's like,
that's what he is.
Exactly. He's I don't know if I can compare him. He's like a Jake Paul type situation.
He's like Lady Gaga and shit. Like,
exactly. It's like I think Rihanna's a more qualified boxer than Ryan is.
Take a better punch.
Exactly. We've seen it on live TV.
You know what I'm saying? Virtuoso said all that big bro shit is the jailhouse coaches shit, man. All right. Old Dirty said Ryan Garcia is a skinny Rosie O'Donnell. He got the haircut, right? If you squint at Rosie O'Donnell, tell me you don't see Ryan Garcia. If you squint.
If I squint hard enough, he looks like a singer, man. He looks like goddamn Shawn Mendes or fucking.
Bro, he's a vegan alternative to Oscar De La Hoya. He a vegan Oscar De La Hoya.
Hey, that's disrespectful to Oscar, man. Hey, old fishnets, man. He was a solid boxer.
No, that's what I'm saying. That he's De La Hoya without the seasoning.
He's
De La Hoya zero. He's De La Hoya zero.
He's the goddamn vegan meat alternative to De La Hoya. It makes sense.
He's Oscar Diet Hoya. Oscar Diet Hoya.
Wish.com, Oscar.
Jules, we expect you to do a review of the Lights Out vitamins from Oscar, though. Okay.
No, I'm gonna take them shits, and my wife gonna be mad at me because I ain't gonna leave her alone.
Hey, by the way,
you gotta get them. You gotta get them silk pajamas like Oscar too, though.
Bro, I'm gonna show everybody my chest hair. I'm gonna do the whole live with a satin shirt, show y'all my chest and my nipple.
Yeah, dog.
Rest in peace, Paul Sorvino, man. He died.
Oh man,
yeah.
man.
R.I.P. to Paul, man, for sure, man. I'm gonna watch Goodfellas again.
Y'all remember Sorvino in Summer of Sam?
I remember. I remember the Replacement Killers too.
Okay, now let me ask you this though: Mira Sorvino. What's the other girl's name from My Cousin Vinny?
Marissa Tomei. My cousin 100%. Vinny.
Yeah, she's hot.
Yes.
She oozes sexuality.
Bruh, did y'all see the spider? She still look like that, bro. On May. Still look like that.
In Civil War, Robert Downey wasn't lying. Talking about like she's like, I can't believe she's like anyone's. Yeah, Robert. You already know what time it is.
You know what to do, Rob. But it's real shit. It's real shit in the sense that, look, all jokes aside and all fuckery aside, what the media chooses to promote is negativity. Coincidentally, what people end up gravitating towards is the negativity and the toxicity, and they remember the toxicity more than they remember. Look, yeah, Crawford don't say a lot, but he get the goddamn job done, and isn't that the point? Getting the goddamn job done. Now, we have a society of youth that pay attention. They can't get the job done. They're losing their roles in society. And it reminds me of the 25th dimension. Why? That colony of rats, they had everything to make it for several generations. Abundant space, abundant food, abundant water, plenty of room to copulate and be plentiful. But every single rat in the colony died. Every single one at the end of the experiment. It was inexplicable until you track it that, well, what started happening, the males were losing their role in society, which then affected the females, which then affected the copulation and how it wasn't happening anymore. And you had the quote unquote beautiful ones, right? The beautiful ones remind me of the influencers. These kids that they're out there in society, but what are you really contributing outside of this digital environment? What are you actually contributing? What are you actually doing? Nothing.
Other than flaunting your wealth.
Nothing. And the weird thing is they talked about, when you read this thing, the quote unquote beautiful ones would just sit around grooming themselves. They wouldn't even fuck. They would just sit around. They wouldn't have children. And everything that I see in this society right now, that's what it reminds me of. That you got people that go to the gym, you know, you got girls, everybody got a fat old ass now. You go on Instagram, literally everybody has a fat old fucking ass now. But it's not necessarily to start a family. It's a status symbol, or it's about status more than it's about, because most of the things we do as individuals in our grooming process and our hygiene directly correlates to copulation. I ain't gonna be out here stinking and smelling bad because I ain't gonna get no pussy. I ain't gonna be out here boofing, big beard, big shit, my hair all crazy, because then I ain't gonna get no pussy. Most of what we do has to do with that copulation. And when you lose that, or worse, let's say you like that Mike O'Hearn dude, like, bro, you just swole to be swole. Like, you ain't even, it don't even make sense for you to be that big, bro. Like, what are you trying to do? You trying to fight a building? What are you doing?
That's cosplay as the Incredible Hulk.
I would say that you say most things. I would say everything you do is based on that. Everybody, what are they trying to do? Like, from a man's standpoint, maybe, and maybe I'm generalizing, they're trying to gain money, right? And they're trying to gain power. Why? Because they know if they get the money and they get the power, they get the girls, right? A woman wants to look attractive, right? She wants to be beautiful so she can to get the best possible mate out there to be taken care of or to be supportive. So I would disagree and say that everything is based on getting the pussy. I mean, it all revolves around that.
And life, see, like animals, right? Animals have a sort of heaven that we don't have. They know what their purpose is. When they get up, they know what they set out to do. They set out to survive. They set out to find food, eventually get some pussy, have some kids, and die. That is their purpose. And we have been fed an illusion that the abundance of options actually adds something to our lives, when no, it doesn't. The abundance of options delineates the line of purpose. Purpose. When you have a purpose, when you have something that you wake up to do, you feel enriched. So long as it's something that you want to do. Like maybe you're an artist, you like to draw, you like to sing, or you a fighter, you like to fight. It gives you a purpose. But all these options delineate that. Now look at Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is supposed to be a fighter by trade, but he has options. He's also a TikToker and an Instagrammer and a social media influencer. And that kind of takes him away from his boxing. it alters his perspective to it. Like, dog, like you saying you don't need belts. What the fuck? You one of the only boxers I ever heard say that funny sound. You don't need belts. Or is it just
that's not his priority?
Not his. He got because he has options.
How old is Ryan? I forget.
24.
23, 24.
Okay, so at 23, I remember, maybe I'm a little old, so I'm a little forgetful, but Floyd already fought Diego Corrales. I think he already had Genaro Hernandez, and like
17-0.
Exactly. And I think Manfredi was also around that time period. So like those three names alone are better than Tank Ryan's career put together.
Listen, Genaro Hernandez was 38-1. Only ever lost.
I think Emmanuel Augustus too.
38-1. Now Ryan was ready to do a movie because he beat Luke Campbell.
I mean, what do you think he's gonna do if he beats Tank? Bro, he's gonna have a hard goddamn trilogy.
Think about that. At 17-0, like don't downplay it. Genaro record was 38-1. Only ever lost to Oscar. Floyd fought him when he was 17-0. That was a good scalp. That was a great scalp. 38-1. Only ever lost to Oscar. WBC champion. It's a great scalp.
Shit,
Ryan.
Floyd
Ryan think he arrived.
Hey, Jules.
Because he beat Luke Campbell.
So let me ask y'all a question, man. So Boots is coming. Boots up next, right? So with him having this, he have a similar demeanor to Crawford. His demeanor is similar. Pretty much, he just get in the ring, whoop ass, and pretty much that. But he's not a guy that's gonna be out there doing, those things like,
I fear for him, bro. I fear for him, and I'm gonna tell you why. I fear for him.
Crawford. They'll freeze him out because he's too.
That's
good.
what I was gonna say. They're not just gonna fight him. And I've been said that the onus to get Boots a crossover fight is on Stefan Espinoza. Why? Boots promoter has an exclusivity deal with Showtime, right? So that means Showtime is in the germ and it's business. That means it's on Showtime. You need to get him Keith Thurman. I don't understand. What are you waiting for? You need to get him Keith Thurman. And if Al is listen, Al, you got to give me something, bro. Danny just went up to 154. I'm trying to get this kid to cross over. We need something because Boots' problem is he's not a Heyman fighter. He don't have access to those fighters. And even if he was a Heyman fighter, you see how Leo avoided Gary for fucking 3-4 years? It's no guarantees. Them kids don't want to fight and they don't want to play their position. Now, this is why I love Jose Zapata because he played his position. They say, yo, you got to go to New York. You got to fight Josue Vargas. He go to New fuck it. All right, I'll go. Goes to New York, first round knockout. I got my spot, bro. I got my title shot. Thurman don't want to do that. Thurman getting the favors. Instead of having to fight Boots, instead of having to fight Virgil, WBC puts him at number 1.
The fuck is that? The fuck is that?
Hey, if Barrios, Barrios is up there, man. He fought Tank.
And but see, that's why I say. But see, that's why I say that I fear for Boots because how you gonna get him to cross over without the fight? How?
Right.
He needs a big name.
And
who's got standing on?
Hey, Jules, in regards to the younger generation, which you were talking about earlier, a lot of these youngsters, they expect stuff to just be automatically handed to them, and they don't have to put in the work for it, man.
Yeah, that's what Ryan's saying. He don't need belts because he think. Look, he get into this. Like, let's not lie about things. Tank draws a little bit. So does Ryan. They're getting good purses. Ryan got $2 million. I ain't make $2 million this year. So, I mean, yeah, he getting money, right? But because he getting a little bit of money, he want to skip steps, necessary steps. He want to skip steps. Like, bro, yeah, you need to fight for a belt. How you going to become or be in that Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Floyd Mayweather, Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya? How you going to be in that hole because you beat Luke Campbell and Javante Davis?
And the thing about it is he's not even consistent. I mean, he pulls out when he has a Mariah Carey moment and he doesn't want to fight, and then comes back and then he doesn't want to fight again. Now he fight. How long did it take him to fight Fortuna when he should have fought him? How long ago?
Exactly. It took a fucking year to make the Fortuna fight. Fucking year.
I mean, how can he even expect to be on top or be a number 1 and call out fight other fighters?
Easy.
Okay,
it was as established. He already has a background and he has options, so he has a higher expectation and a higher opinion of himself than most people when they start off. If you look at his resume, he he's not, because again, he wants. This is not just him. It's been stated before, and I'm going to repeat it just for the sake of repetition. Everyone wants to go straight to being Money Mayweather. They want to skip the pretty boy stage.
But he said I was Pretty Boy Floyd first.
Exactly.
Floyd first, right.
Exactly.
And Floyd don't help the situation with how he moves his own fighter, because they keep saying, and I said this yesterday, what's going on with Davis is not the Mayweather blueprint. It's literally, no, it's not. He fought Manfredi, he fought Gennaro, he fought Castillo, he fought fucking fighters, bro.
Mayweather forgets that, like, bro, here's the thing. Mayweather's loss in the amateurs is what essentially established him as a fighter, man. When he lost and got second place and he was devastated, bro, that's what got him to where he is right now.
And that's why Shakur is gonna be that motherfucking dude.
Exactly.
Yep, same thing. Yep.
Yo, I think for me, shout out everybody. How's it going? Look, to me, like, I guess the alarming part for me with Ryan was remember when Canelo called him out, kind of, but like in a big brother way, like, hey man, focus on the sport, stop crying out here, stay in the gym, stay focused. And at first, Ryan was asked about it. He's like, oh yeah, I respect Canelo. Whatever Canelo says, it's all good. It's his opinion. I'm trying my best. He waited until he was out of the camp, when he was no longer with Reynoso, and then he started talking all types of greasy shit. Oh, you ain't shit. For pretty much telling him, but what about you? You beat Matthew Haddon. Like, you didn't do shit when you were my age. Blah 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 blah. Like, to me, that's an alarming thing about Ryan. He doesn't have loyalty. All right.
He reminds me of Icarus. Reminds me of Icarus, the story of Icarus. It's like that. It's like that scene in Blade when Blade told him off. It's always a motherfucker trying to skate uphill. That's right. You trying to skate uphill, my guy? Like, congratulations.
Can he really be when his level of competition is like barely like a foot off the ground?
It like, honestly, like. I wish things would have worked out for Teofimo, because he was a good example. Thankfully, things worked out for Devin, but he doesn't have the most fan-friendly style, so it's a mixed bag. But the good thing about Teofimo was that here was this kid that he was talking shit, like you want a fighter to talk shit sometimes, that he wasn't going to bow. No, I ain't going to suck low my dick, bro. Fuck all that. I'm here to beat you, bro. I don't give a fuck what you did. I don't care how many medals you got. And he won the fight. And that was a great example for young guys. Now, Devin is the great example for young guys. Fuck this bullshit and fuck all of that. I can beat you. America, Australia, ESPN, or Foxtel. I can beat you. Dad can't come. I can beat you. There's koalas in a tree. I can beat you.
I want to say something. Since we're talking movies, though, right? I disagree with the part that they say Ryan Garcia doesn't have put the work. He has it, but not inside the ring. If you look up the most successful American entities, who besides sportsmanship, who they are? Entertainers, but they are not the kind of entertained with the talent and the skills is the focus. It's the ability to generate clout. You have the Kardashians, you have Jake Paul, Logan Paul, this guy, the influencers. His ability, his talent is generating clout. And I think most of the guys, they think this is the way to be successful, this is the way to the money. It doesn't matter what is your discipline, doesn't matter if you are a boxer or an MMA fighter or a basketball a basketball player. Is the ability to generate clout. And look, Ryan Garcia can retire in 2-3 years and make movies and make shows and have a YouTube channel. He have options, like you guys said before. But you're a meek, you're a fragile guy.
In other words, let me say this. First, let me say this, and then I want to address that comment that is from King KO. Ryan having options is not wrong. You understand? It's not like it's wrong. He's a young guy. He's making a lot of money. He does weird shit. It is what it is. But we're not here necessarily to talk about, is Ryan going to end up with a good 401k plan? Is he going to end up with a mortgage? We're here specifically talking about the boxing. So in reference to the boxing, do I actually feel that Ryan is cut from the cloth of his mentor? No. No, you're not built for it like Oscar was. Fishnets and all. You're not built for it like Oscar was. You're not built for it like Floyd was. For all the shit that we say about Floyd, he built for the shit. You not, Ryan.
Okay,
You not. Because if you was, you wouldn't have to do this shit. That's all I'm saying. Now, when it comes to this comment from King KO, right? He's laughing at the idea that Devin is a great example. Devin is literally the youngest man to ever get a promoter's license. Leonard Ellerbee himself acknowledged that Devin was making fantastic fucking money at Matchroom. He just made $2.8 million in dominant fashion in the other man's backyard, becoming an undisputed champion at 23 years old. And he's not a good example?
I don't get the Devin hate, man.
I don't understand.
Tank beat Raleigh.
Is that not true? I mean,
I just don't think people like
undisputed champions at 23 years old that just made $2 million beating another man in dominant fashion in his country, where there are koala bears and snakes.
but can I ask a quick? Let me ask a quick question, fellas. Who thinks that Tank Davis is ever going to be an undisputed champion?
Never.
No chance. The thing is this: is that if Devin was knocking people out, even if he was like Tank and he lost a bunch of rounds, he'd have a lot more fanfare. The fact is that the guy is doing all the things that you find to have value, which is sacrificing, going to another guy's backyard to fight, unifying, promoting license. All those things require a purpose and hard work. So the thing is, that all sounds boring. So a man of your status and the gentleman on the panel, we all value those traits. So we say, look what this guy did at 23, where these guys, it's not part of their foundation of who they are, so they cannot relate to why it's so important.
But look. Let's not overanalyze the shit. He doesn't think that Devin beat nobody, but you think Tank beat somebody. Who the fuck did Tank beat?
I will do you one better. People like people.
What?
People like just in general, they tend to do like this. Oh yeah, so he beat him, but he beat him. So as a result, he technically beat the first guy. So using that logic, he beat the man that.
He's coming back with shit. Let me champ the shit. Did I say Devin doesn't have to fight people? At any point in this live, did I say that Devin doesn't have to fight Javante? Or Devin doesn't have to fight Loma?
That's not what you said. That's not what you said, but that's what he heard, though. You know what I mean?
Like it's a stick, and I have said this. I'm gonna turn the camera on. I was gonna just drink my coffee and chill. Now I gotta turn the camera on. You sick, fam? You're sick. What the fuck have I been up here saying the whole time? I'm a boxing fan that wants to see boxing matches. Because Devin is undisputed, don't mean I think he need to retire or they need to hide him out. I want Javante to fight Devin. You don't want Javante to fight Devin. You keep coming up with fucking explanations why two boxers shouldn't box. They in the same weight class.
You caps locking doesn't make your point any more valid, buddy man. I'm just saying it doesn't.
Like it's and look, I know where it's going. It's all downhill from here because there's gonna be more people like King KO in the future than there are people like me or you. Any one of you on the panel, people are making less and less sense over time. Over time, it's noticeable. It's kind of in your face if you pay attention. That at what point in this live did I say Devin don't gotta fight people? That's what you just said back to. Did I say that?
As a matter of fact, Devin again. I don't get the Devin hate for two reasons. Look, I didn't think he was gonna win, but I'm very happy he did. He's young. He's there. I'm happy for him. But his story is the Rocky story, man. He's Rocky. Which one did he fight Draco in?
Rocky Four. No, but it's not even. I don't look because Rocky's an underdog story, and Devin wasn't an underdog to me. It's more along the lines of that's the example that hard work pays off. No, he's not as popular as Ryan. He doesn't have as many Instagram followers. No, he's not as popular supposedly as Javante because he has all these fucking fans and shit. But he got the skills to pay the bills. And he didn't have to kiss no ass or bend down. Fuck all that. I can beat him. Dad can't. I can beat him. Australia, I can beat him. Two-way rematch. I can fucking beat him. That's how you supposed to be.
But by this logic, though, that Tank and Ryan are doing it the quote unquote right way. By that logic, well, I guess Jake Paul is the king of boxing then.
He got
right.
Be. He got
like at that point, and we're gonna make it about social media followers, and then anyone on social media with more followers than boxers, and there's a lot of them, could just turn into boxers, and they're the stars of the show. Then, if that's where we're going.
Gervonta is 27 years old. He is in his physical prime.
He's almost 28.
Sorry, almost. Yeah, sorry, he's 28. Well, October or something like that. You don't. You're not gonna get much better than right now physically. Look, if you want to make it, look. Here's the thing: if someone had said like, okay, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Jermell Charlo, I'm like, okay, cool, he's undisputed, he's got belts, he's fighting. If you said you were a fan of Shakur Stevenson, yeah, he's young, he's hip, he's there, he's gonna be there, he's gonna be the big guy to beat. I just again and I have nothing against any fighter for fighting, but look, if you want to say Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, they're like the guys to beat in your weight division, fine, cool, whatever, but they don't want to fight in the weight division. They're parallel boxers. I don't
let me just, I'm very good at this. Let me make it simple. Guys like King KO have been apologizing for Gervonta for 4 years. 4 years of apologizing, of him just ignoring shit that people want to see you fight. Loma, nah, no Loma, no Farmer, no Burchell, no Machado, no fucking Devin, no fucking Stevenson. So why you want me to believe that he this great shit and when he not fighting nobody?
Devin supposedly ducked Loma, but what the hell did Gervonta Davis do? Because he sure as shit avoided Loma like the plague.
Avoided him like a plague.
Now, peep this shit. This is the sickness. Look at what he coming back at you with. Does that shit that he wrote make sense? Yo, if Devin win, what side of the street is he on? Is he closer to Loma or further away from Loma?
I bet you, I guarantee you 100%, the Loma versus Devin fight is 100% more likely to happen than Loma versus Tank or Loma versus Ryan.
I agree.
Stop swinging off the nuts of Tank Davis, brother. Just stop. All right.
Loma, okay, who gives a shit if Loma beats
I
Tank?
didn't ask you if you think Loma beats Tank. Like this is. No, I'm telling you, and I swear to God, there's more people like him coming out in society that make absolutely no sense at all. They are driven completely by emotion because their frontal lobe is fucked. When the fuck did anybody here say Devin beats Loma?
My patented appeal to fanboyism solves all your problems, Julius. My appeal to fanboyism. If you squint your eyes and close your ears, anything can sound like anything, so long as it goes with your story.
Yeah. I don't even know what kind of rebuttals these are. And look, at some point, I just got to straight talk it because that's what works the best. All right. If you're going to sit here and tell me that Devin ducked Loma, what the fuck did Gervonta Davis do for the last 4 years? Because before Devin was even talked about, it was about Gervonta and Loma. Loma never fucking fought him. He let Teofimo beat him to the punch to Loma. You never wanted nothing to do with that man. So what are you talking about, King KO? You like something about Gervonta Davis, and I'm going to say it. Whatever you like about Gervonta Davis is not boxing related.
I just want to say this. So what I've heard is Tank didn't duck Loma. Floyd didn't let him fight Loma, right? He wanted to, but Floyd wouldn't let him. Is the narrative that I hear.
I know. But ain't Gervonta the one that went to Gilly the Kid podcast and Gilly asked him about them fights and what he said? I never asked for none of them fights. What he said is
Wasn't Devin chasing Loma before he petitioned for franchise though? So
yes, but Devin ducked Loma.
After Tank's spectacular fight against Rolly Romero in that climactic battle of Herculean proportions, old man Loma could be 70 and still outbox him, man.
Listen, it's not even. It's simple, right? See, maybe. Hold on. Maybe Gervonta could beat Loma. I don't know. Maybe Loma could beat Gervonta. I'm a boxing fan. I want to see a boxing match. I don't actually give two flying furry fucks who wins, so long as I get the match. And with guys like King, that shit sound like trigonometry. The guys like King KO. Something as simple as I'm a boxing fan. I want to see a boxing match. I want to see Devin versus Davis. Why not? I want to see Stevenson versus Davis. I wanted to see Davis versus Loma. If these are good fighters, why would I not want to see them fight? Why would I spend 4 years apologizing for the shit that you're not doing when it's obvious what people are asking you to do? It's obvious. The media is asking you about it. The fans are in your comments on your Instagram, on your Twitter, on your Facebook, talking about it. All right? You the one ignoring them. This shit, none of this shit is complex. They've been asking you to fight a lot of people that you never fucking fought. And guys like King KO would get mad at me for pointing it out as if I'm the only one. I'm the only one that wanted Gervonta Davis to fight Lomachenko.
At the end of the day, we want to see all the fights, right?
Bingo.
All the fights. I want to see Lomachenko versus Lomachenko.
If I can.
Yeah.
In a year of undisputed matches and unification bouts, I have no incentive to watch the Mario Barrioses of the world versus the Tanks of the world, the Rolly Romeros. Like, this is not like in the same month. I swear to God, wasn't it in the same month that we had where it was an undisputed bout? It was like in it. If
I get it. I get it. Sometimes fans get emotionally attached to fighters. For example, big fan of Alicia Baumgartner. I almost don't want her to have the Mayer fight. I'm scared. But I'm a boxing fan, goddammit. I'm a boxing fan. And I gotta watch it. And I gotta push for it. All right? Where it starts getting peculiar is you claim to be a boxing fan of the span of the and a fan of the sport, but you don't want to push for Haney versus Davis. You don't want to see that. You gonna argue all type of just weird shit that nobody is saying because really you don't want Devin Haney versus Gervonta Davis. You don't want Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis. Some part of you likes Gervonta Davis so much that you don't want him in risky fights.
But here's the thing. It's funny. It's funny, Jules. That reminds me of a quote from Albert Einstein. Maybe I heard this. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe.
To add your point, like, people are afraid of seeing their favorite fighters lose, but it's like, bro, you don't improve as a fighter unless you lose. Like I said, when Mayweather lost in the amateurs, it made him want to never lose again. It was a shit feeling. When Canelo lost to Mayweather the first time, it was a shit feeling. He improved. Like, look, so you're gonna say sorry, my English is horrible. If you want to tell me Leonard was bad because he had one loss on his record, so by that logic, you must want to tell me that Muhammad Ali was a shit fighter. He lost multiple times.
This is what I mean. See, we logical people in this generation of peculiarities and flying saucers, right? It's not going to be a lot of us in the future. I'm just telling y'all now. It's going to be more guys like King KO. I don't have to make sense. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. Don't you see the parallel in Gervonta Davis? Don't you see the parallel in Ryan? I don't got to fight for a belt. I don't got to fight Devin Haney. I don't got to fight Sean Stevenson. I don't got to fight Lomachenko. What the fuck are you here to do?
Chisora has losses, as you say, all the time in the double digits, and he still makes money because he has. If you like the fighter, you're gonna watch the fighter. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter if he loses or not. If anything, if he loses, that makes you more on his side, man, because you want to see how he does the next fight.
Hey, Jules.
Yeah, look. Talking to boxing fans about a fighter improving after a loss, it's like you're speaking Chinese to them. People want simple things. Floyd Mayweather said, "Hey, there's no blueprint to beat me. That makes me the best." That just makes sense to a lot of people for whatever reason, right?
No, Jules,
and I've actually said this before. If in my opinion, Castillo won the first fight with Floyd, if the judges called it right, in my opinion, all right, we wouldn't have this era of protecting the O, and Floyd would have had a better resume if he would have lost this fight.
Let's say this, right? I've heard a lot of people say that, and I never get upset about it. You know why? Because a lot of guys got lucky. Some people feel Ward got lucky with Kova. Some people feel Floyd got lucky with Castillo. I've heard that a lot. And Maidana. Some people feel that Manny got lucky with Marquez in the third fight. That Marquez
Canelo got lucky with Triple G first fight.
Canelo got He did, because I had Triple G winning fight, And what I notice is, okay, when it gets to the point,
Triple G with Jacobs, you know what happens.
Well, I would say that Yanchenko more than Jacobs, but that's just me. But because I had it 6 rounds even to each fighter, but the knockdown saved the fight for Triple G, and that's why I think he got lucky. But the idea is, does the fighter stop being a great fighter because of that, or because of a fight that didn't happen? I bring it up all the time. Sugar Ray Robinson is the father of the pound-for-pound list. But he never fought Charlie Burley. So what, he's not the father because he didn't fucking fight Charlie Burley?
Lennox Lewis was our last undisputed champion at heavyweight. See, he must be ass after he lost.
Hey, Jules.
I guess my point is the following, though. So back to the Castillo fight, it's still the same exact fight, regardless of how those 3 old farts scored it. Right? It's the same fight. But if they would have scored it for Castillo, even if you think Floyd won, if Floyd had that loss on his record, he would have still avenged his loss to Castillo. And then guess what? He wouldn't be protecting his O. He would have taken far more risk. We'd probably get the Pacquiao fight earlier than we did. He probably fights Martinez when I felt it was the right time. And he probably has a better, even I think highly of Floyd, but I think he would have had a better resume if he wasn't protecting that O. And we wouldn't have this era of protecting the O. Either.
I agree with that because
I lost. Yeah, I lost.
Hey,
I don't know.
If we nip it, missed the super chat, brother.
Okay, let me see. Is it up? Is it up?
It's
I see it.
Okay.
Some of these fans, you talking about this one?
Yeah.
Some of these fans need to admire AJ and not Fury, and it's that kind of shit. And it's just, look, it's a cheap mentality. It's a cheap mentality overall. You know, do I think Rocky Marciano was better than Muhammad Ali because he's unbeaten? No. No.
They beat him in that computer fight, though.
Oh God, man, I'll even school him. I think, man.
I'm saying it's simple shit, and I forgot who just said it, but it's true. They want it to be simple. Oh, well, he's unbeaten, so he's unbeatable. All right, you fucking goldfish. If that is how your mind works, go ahead. Just, please don't talk to me. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, they're like fans of a really shitty TV show, and they don't want it to end.
Wait.
I got a question for you.
You guys said it before, and Julius, people in the panel said it before. The perfect parallel to this discussion. We have the NBA, right? The best basketball players in the world. How is the name of that team, that showmanship team? The
Harlem Globetrotters.
Yep.
Yeah. If a guy tells me, no, I'm a fan of those guys, fuck the NBA. Look at the skills of those guys. Do you see it?
Talking about, since you're making comparisons.
Leo, they never lost the game, bro.
Yeah,
so actually, they do have a loss though. They lost to the Washington Generals one time, I believe.
We don't need the NBA.
They're
like they fucked up. It was planned for them to win. They still lost. It was crazy. But I don't know how that happened. But look, you were making some comparisons to movies, and I was thinking about the movie Gladiator. You know, when Commodus, after he kills his dad and shit, he's going into Rome in a chariot and legions behind him, and the Senate, like the two senators, like they do that line. He enters Rome like a conquering hero.
But what is he?
What has he conquered? Right, like that's how I feel about Ryan and Tank. Like they're treated like these conquering heroes. They haven't conquered anything. Literally nothing.
I love that you brought that up because the point. Hold on, one at a time. The point that the senator was making is that he's going to stage fucking games in place of policy, in place of actual infrastructure. What Commodus did for Rome was he staged the fucking games. If that's not the perfect parallel for Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis, in place of an actual legacy, we hear about your Instagram fans. Oh my God, he broke the record at the Barclays.
Tank fans think that Sylvester Stallone looks just like the real Rocky Balboa.
Hey, Jules, it's been a good chat. I got a skedaddle. I just got a notification I'm getting evicted out of my house. So.
Oh shit! You all right?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Oh, fuck,
I don't know. I gotta find out.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, I just got the text, so I gotta go figure some things out.
Hope things get better for you, man.
Yeah, we'll say a prayer for you, brother.
Man, that should just change the whole tone of the shit.
Yeah, I know. I apologize for anything's off on a bad note. I just got the message, so.
Look, I'm gonna put a prayer out there to the cosmos that everything be alright. I got powers.
Yeah. Hand you biz, Ivo.
All right, stay safe, guys. Good luck and have a nice night.
But you know,
I got a question for you and the panel. What was you guys' opinion on the Dogbo decision?
Honest to God, I watched the fight live. Joette had moments, but Dogbo seemed a little bit more consistent to me. Just a little, just enough. Like just enough. Just
if he wouldn't have if he wouldn't have given up the first 3 rounds, then he would have easily won the fight. He was just really, really timid. Those first 3 to 4. First 3 to 4
like Joette found his groove after, I think it was the 4th. He found his groove because I remember giving Dog Bay the first 2 that he was moving, he was in and out, throwing combinations, looked busy. Around the 3rd, I started to see a change in Joette, and in the 4th, I remember he was actually bullying Dog Bay a little bit, kneeling in on him, had him on the ropes, but it's like it wasn't consistent enough for me. So I felt okay. I'm okay with Dog Bay winning this fight. I'm okay with it. You know, I'm not super, but I'm okay. Okay.
That was kind of the Loma Chico deal.
It was
it reminded me of that.
It was too close to complain either way, to be honest. Like, I kind of felt like, hey, however the judges saw it, none of you could complain. That's how I saw the fight.
And that's how I felt about the Adam Lopez fight. I think Dog Bay had another fight. Like Dog Bay's last 3 fights, what I'll say is he's just getting by.
He's just nicking it. Just barely.
And I'm not gonna knock him because just like D-Style said, it's close enough that like can't complain. It is close. It is close.
A disadvantage because of his size, though. You know, compared to most of his opponents.
Yeah, because he's a fucking 122-pound fighter, man. And you can like he got a 122-pound frame. He is a 122-pound fighter. But he has
to try to go back down.
I don't think he can. I think he's too stocky.
Could be, yeah. You're right.
He got a lot of muscles for a little guy. Like he cack for a little ass dude.
I will say though, Joed has like this thing, like he's like missing like another gear, man. Like I don't know. There's just something about him. Like he just reminds me a lot of like not style wise, but just like he's missing that urgency in fights, kind of like Daniel Jacobs. Like it's like, where's the urgency, dude? Like you know what I mean? Like
in the fucking Navarrete fight, like he was having moments. Like a lot of guys did not have fucking moments with Navarrete. He was having fucking moments with Navarrete, and you know, he got his face all bashed up, Joette. But it was like, yo, dog, if he had another gear,
there were times where he wouldn't go away. He just kept coming after Emmanuel. Sometimes, you know,
like I kind of felt he should have gone like Margarito mode on Dogbo. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you're boxing a little too much. Like, you know, just
one of the things I found concerning about Dogbo was that he, at certain points during the fight, if it wasn't for his trainer, he was starting to lose his confidence, and his trainer kind of like shook him back into it. You know?
Yeah, but this is why I give it to Dog Bay. I literally thought it was over for him after the 2 Navarrete fights. I thought, like, bro, he got the shit beat out of him.
A lot of people did.
So the fact that he's back here and he's like, I agree with you, country. It's kind of close. These are close fights. But it's like, remember, this is the dude that got the ground chuck beat out of him back to back by El Vaquero.
Is he now gonna be
Ray Vargas is mandatory.
Yeah, I was gonna say mandatory against Vargas now, right? Because he didn't want to fight Navarrete again. He'll get his ass.
Oh, he should stay away.
I mean, that's gonna be an interesting situation because you know what I feel. Eddie Hearn doesn't have a way with the alphabets, but Bob does, and you can't dick him around when one of his boys is in position. One of his boys is in position. That's Dog Bay. You can't dick him around. So when the time comes, it's gonna be very interesting to see what Ray Vargas decides to do. I like Vargas versus Dog Bay. They're both super bantamweights that moved up. I like that fight. So it's even terrain. And we saw with Maxayo, Ray can be hurt. He was hurt several times in that fight. I'm not saying Isaac is the biggest puncher, but I think he got enough in there that he could hurt him.
Yeah, it's just the mark is one-dimensional. He just does the same shit like every time, really.
Not to get off topic, but I discuss the Spence Crawford soap opera. Is there any news? Is any change? Does anybody have any clue what's going to happen to get this fight over the line?
I'm going to tell you something that is not encouraging. Okay. Errol Spence earlier today posted, when I said never, I meant never.
I saw that tweet. Yeah, I caught that too.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like the sound of that.
And what did he say before that? A little over a week ago. It's now or never. I'm just saying.
Is he trying to put pressure on Bud though?
I mean, look. The main thing is this, and I just try not to let it devolve into what it's been for the last 4 years. And I say this: Showtime, you had $100 million for Canelo. $100 million for Canelo. You had money from Munguia. Put up what you need to put up and make this fight, because you have to compete with Canelo versus Golovkin 3. You have to compete with Joshua versus Usyk. This is your competition. Those fights are bigger than anything you're putting on. This is literally the biggest fight you can hope to make this year. And if you fuck this up because you didn't throw enough money, hey, motherfucker, I'm just going to watch ESPN, bro. I said it yesterday. I'm at a point with that shit. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I told you so.
Wasn't Earl part of that Canelo deal before he took the Bivol Triple G fight?
Yeah, he's supposed to be part of that deal. They were ready to feed him to Canelo.
Mm-hmm. That's
They were
right.
ready to feed him to Canelo.
History will not be
Can't
kind.
believe that. They wanted him to die.
History will not be kind to Spence if he doesn't take this fight. If this fight does not happen, it will not look good at all on his legacy if this fight doesn't happen, because 10 years at the exact same weight, never going undisputed, and not fighting the one guy that could have put you over the finish line of a legend. I think it'll haunt him if the fight doesn't get made.
Let me say this. King, you saying that they're not going to make the money back. Are you not able to promote this fight and sell it? Why? Why? What have you been doing for 4 years? That's why. You killed this fight. It's only right that it ended up on your lap instead of Bob's. Maybe you're right. They can't throw enough money at it, or they can't throw a lot of money at it because they won't get it back. Well, whose fault is that?
I mean, Jules, when Bud was on Top Rank, couldn't they have split the cost just like they did with Wilder Fury?
Yeah, I fucking love you, bro. Because that's what I said. That's what I said. It was better. It was better when Top Rank was involved. Why? You had Top Rank and ESPN to bear the risks with you. Everything wouldn't have had to come from you. You know what I mean? Because Top Rank, we got Crawford shit, bro. Whatever. We got Crawford in this shit. And we're going to market the fight to the viewers on ESPN, and you'll market the fight to the viewers on Showtime. We're going to try to keep operational costs low. We're going to try. We'll do our best. But we can bear the risk with you. And you guys fuck that off. Fucked it off. It's only right. It's on you now. Bob is out of it. You can't blame anything on Bob anymore. It's on you now. It's all on you, Stephen.
What's the alternative, though?
Thurman?
It's Bud or bust. It's Bud or bust.
Spence versus Thurman. Why is he? Why did Thurman just shoot up to number 1 in the WBC's rank standings?
That's not a coincidence.
While
I didn't watch that video. I saw your post now, your thumbnail. My bad, but I didn't see your video. But I didn't notice that.
Watch the shit. Watch the shit. You know what I mean?
That ain't no coincidence. That ain't no coincidence.
You know what I mean? It's like. And I said a long time ago, I wouldn't be surprised if they never fight, because this is not how. Look, all the great fights that we've ever seen, right? Or all the great fights that have ever been great fights. Pay attention. This didn't happen with Duran and Leonard. This didn't happen with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. This didn't happen with Oscar De La Hoya and Felix Trinidad. This didn't happen. It wasn't, oh yeah, man, we don't need to see that fight right now. Fuck that fight. He ain't shit. His belt ain't shit. He ain't beaten. None of that shit happened. None of it. It was, Oscar's a good fucking fighter. Felix is a good fucking fighter. I need to see this. It was always that. Duran is a bad motherfucker. All right? Fucking Leonard is the golden boy. All right? We need to see this. It was always positive. And you had an equal level of enthusiasm from both sides of the fighters. That the Pacquiao fans wanted the Mayweather fight. The Mayweather fans wanted the Pacquiao fight. These weirdo, man, fuck fucking Crawford. He ain't beat shit. I never saw nothing like it. And now you expect to sell this fight?
I mean, if your guy is as good as you claim your guy is, and that's gonna make him who he is, and he's so easy to beat, then you should be pushing for the fight. You should be demanding. There's nobody else that you should fight but him because Crawford's easy to beat. So get him in the ring.
They have, see, the thing with Spence's fans, right? And this is just irrespective of Spence as a man and a fighter and whatever he is. This is not, what I'm about to say is not about Spence. What I'm about to say is about his supporters. They're peculiar people. What they like about him does not pertain to boxing. A boxing fan wants to see boxing matches. I don't care if you're a Fury fan or an AJ fan or a Usyk fan. You want to see the fights. Whereas these guys, there's something about Errol they like so much, they probably defend him more than his own fucking mother. Got to come up with all these goddamn excuses. Are you a fan of this sport or not? It's the same weird shit with Javante. Are you a fan of this sport or not? Because I don't need you to explain to me, bro, you his fucking lawyer, you his guidance counselor, you his mother, his parole officer. Got to come up with all these goddamn explanations. Something wrong with y'all.
It really is. It's cringe. It's cringe.
But it's about to come to an end though, because like Tank's gonna lose to Shakur or Devin, or on a long enough timeline, he's gonna lose to a bum, and that's a fact.
Ryan. I've been saying.
Well, same for Ryan. Ryan is like the opposite side of the coin.
Possibly, but listen. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Ryan, he has no standards and he has no shame, so he can actually protect that O better than Javante because he has no shame. He stood in front of the. He has no shame. He's probably going to bring up a lightweight up to super lightweight.
JoJo.
No shame.
Take a page out of Tank's notebook. Just bring somebody up all the time. But the same thing that's going to happen to Tank, that happened to Tank, is going to happen to him. Tank ran out of people.
I'll say this.
You can't keep fitting him minnows from the bottom. Like, you can't. You have to do something eventually. Like,
it's possible that you get him in Abdullayev after a Diaz. And it's possible you get him a Pablo Cano after an Abdullayev. Is possible because he has no shame. He has no shame. And the people that support him, it's not me and you that would shame him. It's girls that have colorful sneakers. And go, oh my God, it's right. Oh my God. These are the people that make him fit. It's not me. It's TikTokers. Fucking Instagrammers. That's his core supporters. They will not shame him. So he'll sit there and fight an Abdullayev at 40. They're not gonna say anything. They're gonna go to the, oh my God, Big Rye, you're like fucking like, oh my God. Like, fuck.
So Bud doesn't fight Spence. Bud is 34, 35, 36.
I'd retire.
He's gonna get shut out at 154. Going up there's the exact same deal. Like, what kind of career can you? I mean, what you're just gonna fight dudes at this point in time? I mean, there's nothing.
I mean, listen, if it's me, bro, I take whatever money I made and I sell all the fucking cocaine South America can buy.
See, for me, it's frustrating for me
would
because
be his worst pay-per-view numbers.
Who's
Thurman Spence? Like,
no, Thurman Spence
could do like 220.
No, I honestly believe this is weird, bro, but I honestly believe that pay-per-view probably does 4.
That'll do well, I think.
It's PBC fanboys will love it. It's two PBC fighters who are the cream of the crop.
I won't lie to you. I would buy it because I need to see Thurman get knocked out. I need it.
Me too. Yeah, I'd buy it for that reason alone.
I need it. Like, I'm so tired of him and his fucking hairline. I'm sick of this. I'm tired of this shit.
Dude, you look like a pedophile with that hairstyle.
Wow.
Bro, he looked like Freddy before the fire. Freddy Krueger before the fire. One time Freddy.
The reason why I say, though, is because, like, it would be kind of a reflection of the market that's been demanding that Spence fight, you know? Or the Crawford fight. I'm sorry, the Crawford fight. And if you're not giving them what they want,
well, let's say
I
this.
just assume maybe it would go down.
Thurman only ever lost to Pacquiao, right? Thurman only ever lost to Pacquiao. And, you know, it's like I know he's going to get knocked out, but I want it. And because of that, it kind of makes me feel like, look, this probably does, at least it'll do better. I don't know specifically if 4 is the right number, but I do feel that it has something that the Garcia fight didn't have.
I think it'll at least do over 3. Yeah, I think over 3 at least.
Yeah, like Danny Garcia. Like, bro, nobody bought that bullshit. 225. That was the reported number. You want to watch that bullshit? Danny is not nobody. But at least with Thurman, we could say he did beat Danny before everybody on paper. Because really, Mauricio Herrera beat fucking Danny. El Maestro beat fucking Danny, really.
Thurman gave him his first official loss, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thurman gave him the official loss, and Thurman did beat Porter, and it was a great fight. And, he's only ever lost to Manny. So it's like there's just something there that, at least to me, makes the fight more attractive than a Danny Garcia fight, though. Ultimately, like I said, and I've been saying, they killed the Bud fight. They killed it. Like, it's not me. I always wanted that fight. You can't, like that. The last 4 years have not been build up for that fight. You've been, why would you, like, bro, like, you don't want them to fight? Why not? What do you want to make love to Errol? What the fuck is wrong with you?
You know they do.
Crawford has to fight everyone and their dog to prove himself to earn that spot, but he can just sit back and fight a lightweight.
Okay. I mean, he was on the wrong side of the street before this, but that's not an issue, and they still can't make the fight.
No, but Jules, remember after what we always talk about after the Spence fight? Oh, he should fight Sean instead.
Why?
Yeah. But once he fights Sean and goes the extra mile and stops him, now nobody buys the fight. The fight should have never been stopped. Yeah, it should have never. Yeah, he got him when he was.
Did you guys notice though how after the Porter fight, everyone was like, "Oh, Porter would beat up Crawford and do this, that, and the third," and then when it got made, everyone was like, "Oh, Crawford's style is just bad for him." Blah blah blah. And then he's not.
Porter's old. Out. That's old. He's aged out.
Or not the fuck out. I'm sorry, but yeah, exactly. The narrative changes with.
It's Rigo and Loma, bro. That's literally what it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
2-3 years of Rigo gonna break his jaw. Almagasa. And I'm like the whole time, like this little man is too old and too small, and it is that fucking simple. And the video is still up. I tell no lies. While they would say, yeah, he's gonna break his jaw, but when the fight got made, I like to stick to the boxing, but I can't help but notice the human nature of it. That some of y'all motherfuckers just talking because y'all got a mouth and y'all live like that. Just bumping your fucking gums, saying absolutely nothing. You don't even believe what the fuck you're saying. Then why are you saying it? You fucking idiots.
Attention. They want attention.
I just don't get it.
Nauseating that shit.
I mean, what kind of guy pushes for a fight, right? And then they don't get the desired outcome, and then they don't even they shame the victory and don't even give credit.
I fucking picked Joette. I picked Joette. I picked him points. Now, am I gonna shit on dog? No, dog. Like, nah, you did it, bro. I like as a man of principle. Nah, Dog Bay did it, bro. You gotta give him his props.
Well, Jules. I picked when Ryan Garcia fought Luke Campbell, right? I picked Campbell to beat him. I did. I thought Ryan wouldn't have it. I thought Campbell was gonna get him, and judging by he got dropped. But when Ryan beat him, I gave his flowers.
Look at your reaction, Jules. Look at your reaction after Bivol won. You didn't make an excuse. You didn't say anything about Canelo this or he got robbed that. He just said, "Hey man, Bivol showed up. He did good. Canelo could work on this and do this, but man, he lost a fight." And you moved on like a man. That's what it is.
Because I'm not Canelo's fucking father. He not paying me. You lose a fight, motherfucker. I ain't gonna front. Might be a little bit sad about it, but I'm not gonna be as sad as when Mike lost. And when Roy lost. I'm not gonna be that sad. I'm not. I was sad when they lost.
We all knew Bivol was a risky fight for Canelo. Did we not?
We did.
Yeah. That's why we wanted it, and not the PBC 168 guys that we knew Canelo was gonna dog walk anyway.
I said that if Canelo wanted to pick a cherry, he should have fucking fought Charlo. I'd have been okay with it. Pick that cherry, Canelo. Fight him. He wanted to fight a real guy, and it is what it is. And my energy is consistent. I said it from the beginning. Canelo might lose this one. I'm not picking him to lose, but yeah, this fight, he stands more of a chance of losing this one than a Charlo fight or than an Andrade fight. Yeah, the Benavidez fight, some risks, but it's a little bit more simple. Why? He gives up his height. He's not moving away from you and being tall. He's leaning over you and being tall. So you can counter him. You can hit him to the body because he's not using his height. Bivol, on the other hand, he is going to use it. He's going to be in and out, stick and move, keep the punches short, and you little.
And Benavidez can get hit. I mean, he's much more wide open and not as technically sound as somebody like Bivol.
He got dropped by Ronald Gavril.
Yeah.
So then, let's say they don't make the Bud Spence fight. That's what quote unquote the fans want to see, quote unquote. Well, then where does Spence go? So Spence doesn't.
Junior middleweight. Well, first let's say this. Let's say Crawford and Spence doesn't happen. Spence versus Thurman. IBF gets surrendered to Jaron Boots Ennis. WBA gets surrendered to a Stanionis, right? After the Thurman fight, maybe Jermell moves up the middle. Titles go vacant. Spence moves up, picks up a title.
If Boots fights for somebody for a vacant belt.
I don't believe for a second that Errol Spence is going to fight Jaron Boots Ennis.
Neither do I.
No.
And then that fight gets ordered, he vacates.
What does Boots have to do to force the mandatory?
Well, this is the thing. By all rights, it should be forced because the IBF mandatory hasn't been satisfied in 4 years.
That's the last time he fought Ocampo, right?
Like,
yep.
How has Spence been able to slither around everything without having like the responsibility that like AJ has? Like AJ fights everybody, but I mean, like Spence can fight a Ferrari and then not. Sorry. I had to do it.
Yeah, what's the over under that Al paid the WBC to have Thurman re-ranked?
Without a doubt, 100%.
See, this is the explanation that this is what I saw over time. He got a little bit of leeway because of the car accident, so let's call that leeway a year. Then Sergey Lipinets fought. What did he fight?
The guy was Custio Clayton.
Custio Clayton. He fights Custio Clayton, and the fight is scored a draw. That fight was an IBF final eliminator. The winner of the fight would have been the mandatory, but because it was a draw, no mandatory. Another year.
Oh, okay.
Then, they finally get Custio Clayton in the ring, but it's still overdue, is what I'm saying, because now, all right, Custio and Jaron already fought. Jaron already knocked out motherfucking Custio, right? He is the mandatory now. And I don't hear nothing about the IBF pressing him. If this fight with Crawford doesn't happen, by all rights, the mandatory that you need to satisfy is Jaron Boots Ennis. And like I said, I don't believe for a second that Errol is going to fight that man.
Because I thought the were the straight shooters. Like, I thought they were the ones.
They used to be, but last year, I want you to pay attention to this. Last year, when the WBA got in hot water with the Alphabet Commission, I was told a rumor that several of the officials from the WBA migrated over to the IBF. That's just what I was told. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just telling you. That's what I was told. Coincidentally, the IBF been lacking. They've been lacking. Like, yo, well, where y'all with the orders, bro? Where's the orders?
They haven't been ordering a lot. They haven't.
Because like with I want to say Ergovich, they did a good job, right? I mean, they were going through the ranks, found someone who wanted to, who had agreed, and
it depends because
the final eliminator, right? The
Zhang fight is, but I always felt, look, if y'all had to go down the ranks 2 times, why don't you just give him the fucking position and be done with it?
I agree.
Because that shit took months, bro. Months of that shit. Just give it to him. They don't want to fight him. You've been through this.
Man, would like 7-8 fighters duck him?
Bro,
like, literally.
Ortiz, Ruiz.
Bro, Michael Hunter.
Gassiev, him too. I like
everybody in it. Like, nah, I don't want to
that
fight.
That was insane. I just couldn't believe that. That just like, wow.
Once again, that was one of them shits. I never seen nothing like it. And what I see is, look, I just don't think Errol gonna fight Ennis. So what is likely? He surrenders the IBF to him when the time comes. If the time comes, if an order comes down and he has to satisfy him, he will simply surrender it. His fans will apologize, like they've been apologizing for him not fighting Crawford. They'll apologize for him not fighting.
They'll make excuses.
They'll make excuses. Don't make excuses, all right? Hey, Stanionis, same deal. The only reason you got to fight Ugas for his belt is because he stepped aside. The agreement was the winner fights Stanionis. Now, I'm not mad that they're giving you enough room to do the Crawford fight. I'm not mad about that. But if the fight doesn't happen, who's supposed to be next? Boots and Stanionis.
What is the hierarchy of the order? So let's go with the assumption, Spence doesn't fight Crawford, and maybe the WBC makes Thurman some kind of mandatory, could Boots say no? Like, I've been here longer. I've been number one.
All he can say, if he says no, right, bro? If he says no, that will be a no to the IBF. But the most that you can get out of that is Spence surrenders the belt.
Okay.
That's it.
Which that would be a bad look. Like that, I mean, that's a quack, quack, quack.
It is. It is. But what we've been seeing for the last 4 years has been a bad look. Quack, quack, quack. And you have people.
Not the Spence fans, though. And that's the crazy thing, because Crawford fans, every Crawford fan I know, I want to see the fight. I want to see Spence. I want to see Spence. I want to see Spence. And then Spence fans, oh no, you got to fight 10 people and their dog and their mom and their kid.
Now let me show you the difference between a Spence fan and a Crawford fan. Yes, Virgil Ortiz versus Terrence Crawford is a fight I'd like to watch. Unfortunately for Virgil, in all likelihood, that fight doesn't get ordered until well into next year. Why? They gave Bud 18 months. It's 18 months between mandatories. So it's 18 months from the Porter fight, which took place in October of last year. So this year, he doesn't owe them a mandatory.
Nope.
Reality. There are no overdue mandatories for Bud because last year, his last fight was a mandated fight. Errol, on the other hand, yeah, you got mandatories outstanding. Montes Stanionis and Jaron Boots Ennis.
But it's funny because, like, I remember, like, not that long ago, Spence fans were trying to sick Boots on the Bud, and I'm like, hey, he's Earl's problem, not Bud's.
It's true. Like they tried so hard to make it a Butts. Like, look, right? Boots say a lot of shit about Bud, but I don't give a shit what you saying. The eliminators you fighting in is not for Bud. It's for Errol.
It's like they're happy that these fights don't happen. Like they're elated that Spence doesn't have to fight Crawford if that's what happens.
Because everything they said and that they'll go through, for them, it'll be a traumatic experience like Wilder versus Fury. People told you that, yo, he lost that first fight and you spent like a year apologizing and and then he get his ass beat and you got to watch that shit. Well, with Bud, it's the same shit. He gonna beat Errol ass and you gotta watch that shit. After you've been talking all this shit for 4 years, if they actually get him in the ring, I know you gonna be biting your nails, but I'm not. I know what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna be smiling and laughing.
I just wonder what the excuses are, because I mean they're trying to say that he hasn't fought anyone and that he's the weakest champion, and Spence's run at 147. You know, I saw people trying to compare his run at 147 to Canelo's undisputed run.
No, you didn't.
Like on Twitter, it was on Twitter. Y'all saw it too. Y'all remember that? Like right after the fight, they were trying to compare it, and I was like, you cannot compare 3 belts to 4. First off, you can't, like, you don't. It doesn't add up. And on top of that, like, I don't know, like Canelo fought everyone there. Like everyone that was there cleared it out.
I got a hot take. Like champions that Canelo fought, the champions that Canelo fought, and a lot of people, but you need to think on this. The champions that Canelo fought for those belts at 168 are better than the champions Errol fought at 47. Billy Joe Saunders is a 2-division champion. Which one of those guys Errol fought is a 2-division champion? Which one?
0.
Not Brooke, not Porter, not Ugas. Who got a better resume, Billy Joe Saunders or Sean Porter? Because, see, people get weird when it comes to resumes. It only counts if you win. If you fucking lost, that doesn't count. Otherwise, Gabriel Rosado would have the best fucking resume. You know what I mean? Don't count if you lose. Now, I know Sean fought a lot of people, and I like Sean. I've always enjoyed watching Sean's fights. But realistically, resume for resume, Billy resume is not half bad, bro. Unbeaten Chris Eubank Jr., unbeaten John Ryder. Those are victories that aged well. Unbeaten Spike O'Sullivan, unbeaten Emmanuel Blandamura. He won the WBO title from Andy Lee. He beat David Lemieux, a former champion, in a fight that he was favored to lose. He had a career best performance in that fight. When I compare that to
Brit, so he doesn't get the credit.
Exactly. Callum Smith won the World Boxing Super Series. Did any one of these guys at Arrow beat? They won a tournament? No, they didn't. What are we really bigging up? I'll tell you what we're bigging up. A bunch of guys that are not better than Kell Brook. How do I know? Kell Brook won his belt from Porter. Porter beat Ugas. Your best win is actually Kell Brook.
How much money?
Yeah, he beat 3 undefeated world champions, and then between that, he went up to 175 to win a belt for fun. Like, it's different.
How much money? Like the champions he beat their leftovers. That's what he did.
How much money do you need to pay Kid Thurman and Danny Garcia to enter a tournament?
Oh Lord,
Bro.
10 million.
Danny Garcia turned down $3 million plus 50% of the pay-per-views to fight Terrence. So he could fight Adrian Granados.
That's ridiculous.
He was also made an offer in 2015 to take on Manny Pacquiao, $3 million guarantee and a share of the pay-per-view upside. He turned it down.
Why?
Because Broner was made a similar offer. Same around that same time. Don't believe me, look it up. Don't believe shit I say, do your research, right? Broner was made the same offer. He turns it down so he can take the fight later on for less money.
Sounds like Wilder.
Just like Wilder.
I gotta go to bed, y'all. It's been great. I'm gonna see y'all on the next live. I am gonna go live for Garcia versus Benavidez this week.
Okay,
and I'm gonna go live for that.
I was going to ask you that, Jules. Okay, cool, sweet.
Quick prediction?
I don't have one. I got to let that play out because I don't have a high opinion of either. I literally don't. My explanation for it is simple, and it's not a cop out. It's literally I don't know because you suck and you don't have as many losses, but you haven't competed at his level. See, I think Danny sucks, right? But he has competed at a high level for like. In other words, you fought Sean, but you fucking lost. And you fought Keith, but you fucking lost. And you fought Errol, but you fucking lost. Right? Now, you only ever lost to Terrence. And there's no shame in that. But I haven't seen as much of you as I have of him. So while he sucks, I know him better than you. I'm still trying to get them. Like, do you have what it takes to beat Danny Garcia? We'll find out this Saturday on Showtime.
Benavidez some points.
Go ahead.
Thanks for having me on, Jules. Night, fellas.
All right.
Bye, Joe.